do that? I just So you talk about being a pro streamer. I'm also a pro ghost hunter because I literally just walked in front of my own grid. But just want to do a quick introduction. This is where we are going to start tonight. And for those of you who will be joining me at 7 o'clock, thank you very much. This is OSI recorded live from Linville Manor in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Happy Halloween, everybody. And here we go. So I got this. Am I going to run with this tonight or not? I think we are. So I've started the stream. It is live, just so you know. Just giving people
On your
time.
phone?
Just giving people time to come and find the stream and all that.
So, watch my mouth.
What was that?
So I need to watch my mouth.
No, you don't need to wash your mouth. No. The douche, you say. But the beautiful thing about being a paranormal investigator is you get to wear fly fashion like
I
this.
saw that. Nice necklace. Now we're
Oh, and I wanted to let you know, Tina.
Oh, I have to get Phil out. He's stuck in the bathroom.
Oh no, Phil's stuck in the bathroom. We're off to a roaring start. Perfect. Yo, Sniper Wolf. Hi, how are you? Welcome on in. Just letting everything warm up right now. Firing up the wave motion gun, if you will. And thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So yeah, that's going to be the next thing. We're excited too. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be a real good night.
Couldn't all pushed out and you couldn't.
It's the bathroom back there, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one with the weird door. It's a beautiful doorknob, but the problem is that yeah, it's old. Alright, I'm not gonna wear the necktie just yet.
Did you see your husband's accessory? He just took it off though.
Oh yeah. So Emily told me that they're cleaning out Mum and Dad's room and he's going to sleep in another room. Beautiful. But she said, I'm going to start on the wardrobe, and I said, go.
How do you feel?
And this is after
How do you feel?
No.
How do you
Asking
feel?
how you
Oh,
feel.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Wow, that's freaky.
That is interesting.
Right off the bat.
Well, thank you for asking. I feel okay at the moment. Do you want to tell me what it's like on the other side? I'd be
So-
interested.
So if you're curious as to what just happened, chat, because this is live.
Okay.
So if you're curious, that's my wife.
I'm
So
doing the ghost tube here.
yeah, Pip's doing Ghost Tube, and she's
Not
talking.
recently.
Not recently.
Not recently. What? Not recently doing what?
What do I not
Ghost
do?
Tube?
Oh, I asked, do you know what the other side is like? Not recently. I don't know.
But Pip was, she is right now working through some stuff with the loss of her mom, which happened this week.
Yes.
And she was just talking about some arrangements for that, and that's when Ghost Tube went off and said, how do you feel?
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
What?
Pip was talking about some things with,
Yeah, my mum passed away, Will, on Thursday in New Zealand.
Oh no.
So I was talking about it, I came in and it said, how do you feel?
right off
Aw.
the bat. Straight off the bat.
Yeah.
I got
Straight
really
off the bat.
confused for a second because I was
There's
like, wait,
sentences.
no, that was Wednesday. I was like, oh, it's Thursday.
Thursday in New Zealand,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you for asking.
I'm sorry about that too. Like
Yeah.
really, you know, I know it's not that changes your life. So.
Yeah. It's gonna hit when I get back there, but, you know, if you wanna tell me, about the other side, I'd be interested to hear.
Yeah.
What's that?
What just happened?
Ooh.
What just happened?
Okay, because there shouldn't be any iron in a piano.
Just,
Oh, look,
Yeah. But when you set that down,
I thought the keys were playing.
oh no, that's Ghost Tube. That's
Yeah.
Ghost Tube has a built-in EMF reader
Right.
into it, so it was reacting to something on the piano. Oh,
What?
and let's not do that again.
And once people get in and settled, then I'll dim the lights.
Oh,
so
sure.
people can
Yeah. Where did you
Getting a
want
baseline.
to
Getting a baseline.
getting baseline?
Getting a baseline.
Oh, but I wanted to tell you, Tina, right after you said whatever you do, don't walk in front of the grid as Wynn is about to do that.
Me.
Yeah. But here's
It's
the
like, it's
fun.
my house, I do what I want.
There we go. But here's the funny thing. I did the exact same thing. I just went right in over. It's like, what's beeping? Oh crap! The grid that I was supposed to be
I feel
watching.
like that was me.
Are you ready for a show? Maybe they're all gathering to have a show.
Oh yeah. I'm moving this. And then I'm gonna try to.
Can I have you move the speakers just a bit and then move them over there so people-
No. I was just getting my
You're good.
gonna get my light out because last time I was stuck without a light and I did not like it. So.
Oh, did Grandma get her lantern?
Did Grandma get the lantern? It should be in the car.
Which car?
Your car. I didn't.
No,
get it.
no, it's in our. It's
I gave it to Grandma.
It's in our car.
Oh, it's in our car? Then no, we haven't got it. Would you mind going to get it?
No, no mileage.
Do you want to
Would
go?
you mind going to get it?
Do you want to?
Sure,
Sure, I don't have the keys though.
Oh, go grab Grandma and then get her keys from her. Oh, that was very sweet.
That was very sweet.
That was very
That's very
nice.
sweet.
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
recal-
Is that you,
I'm
Gladys?
going to recalibrate this.
Just so you know, I put Gladys's name, Calvin's name,
All right.
Wynn's name, all in the box. So if you
Okay.
want to tell us about that,
So,
Nancy was already in there.
so real quick chat, just so you all know, I will not always be able to address you. So what's going to happen is that I have two mods that are in stream, and Sunny will also be checking in and out as we do stuff during the evening. But there's Resident Moon and there is Panic, and both of them will be keeping an eye on the chat and talking to you all directly about what we're doing. We are presently at Linville Manor, which was actually featured on Kindred Spirits. This is our second ever public event, so we're going to have other people in here. It's going to be a lot like what you saw with the Candy Bag, but I will not be able to address you all directly. Just wanted to give you all a heads up on that. Right now, we're waiting for people to come in. When they start coming in, we'll get everything started. So, thanks everybody. Now to recalibrate this. I'm just basically turning it off and turning it on again.
If you do the one that I say edit the audio from this thing?
Yeah, but it's got to be up there. It's got to be up there. That's where I left it.
No, Pip's handed me this in an hour or whatever. I've been walking around with this thing.
Oh no, so just go
Okay.
ahead and walk around with it. Wait.
I just had a great
Did-
sit. I just had a
Is
great
that
sit
Jack?
down. Hey,
No, hang on a minute. Oh, Pip. I just want to know if Pip moved it or not.
it never got put anywhere. I got.
Oh, okay. Oh, you just got handed to you.
Yeah.
That's the door.
Does it say Jack on it?
It says Zoom on. It's supposed to say.
They first had a label.
It says Jack OSI.
Yep, that's Pips. It says Jack.
So Nick, that's your first lesson.
It says Jack.
Right.
Okay.
What is the date? So basically, you walk around with that and you record everything.
That's what I was doing.
Exactly.
I was gonna tell you that your mom and I just had a wonderful conversation about 15 minutes, just talking about Frankenstein and old movies and stuff. So I
Yeah.
just want to let you know when you edit audio.
Oh,
It's
trust
just a
me.
great conversation Nancy and I just had.
Just whatever goes on, just make sure you don't take it to the bathroom with
Hey,
you,
Dad.
and you'll be fine. Yeah.
Spence says that when you're doing the presentation, you need to project.
I know. That's why I wasn't in presentation mode
Oh,
or
okay.
projection mode, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks. Spence.
That's Nick Kelly, by the way, everybody. Rev 3 dude.
Spence knows.
All right.
I'm gonna have another one.
So let me see. All right. Well, first off,
T, where did that bag
Some
go
lock.
to?
Oh, I was like,
huh? Where's
The
Matt?
Lord of the Rings bag. I put it over
I
there.
don't know, honey.
Is that it?
It's white, yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we got Phil, and then we
Already?
also, yep, and we also got, what day is it? What date is it?
Well, I heard
29.
that. I heard that.
Of 2022.
Of 2022. Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right.
So ready to rock and roll?
I think we're all set up.
Oh, we've got all our equipment over here.
I have.
Ooh, where's the pumpkin spice?
Charlie Brown.
Oh, Charlie Brown. Where's Charlie Brown?
Charlie Brown is in here. Phil is taking Simon tonight, and Phil will be dealing with Simon all on his own.
Okay.
Who's feeling courageous enough to try some vegan jerky?
Vegan jerky?
Yeah.
I'm courageous enough.
Alright,
Meanwhile, Tina. Hang on there.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, would you like some vegan? Phil, okay. You're gonna eat some vegan.
We don't want to experiment with
Would you
anything
like me
monster.
to eat one?
Before we
There you go.
I will eat one and see if it's any good, and I'll let you know, Gladys. She probably like, what's vegan?
Do we know if that's Gladys though? We have no
Are you Gladys?
confirmation if that's Gladys.
Oh, that's good. That's good, no?
wow. There you go, vegan jerky, we win. Contains soy, is that right?
Oh yeah. I can't eat cashews and pistachios. That's it.
I
Yeah, that's fine.
thought.
Yeah, it's just cashews and pistachios. I can't eat.
Yeah,
This is
it's
all the
black
stuff
spice,
that
so
you
you
see
can destroy by the
before
end of the day. You know, it's
They go into investigation at on Ghost Hunters. This is all the stuff you hear beforehand.
Oh,
is this
right.
vegan? Oh, it's vegan.
What
Okay,
brand
great.
is that?
Noble jerky.
Hold on, I'm gonna
Noble jerky.
I have another one, hold on, I got two.
I
I got a black pepper one too.
I'm gonna take a picture of the vegan drink.
Well, I have another vegan jerky, I'm trying to expand your horizons, kid.
Oh, it's teriyaki. That's why I like it so much.
Ah, teriyaki. Always room for teriyaki.
Hang on. Here's that one.
Was there a?
Thank you.
There was an iPad. I want to say that I plugged into a wall somewhere, and it is no longer plugged in where I had plugged it in. Oh no, wait. I take it back. I stand corrected. It is up here.
Wait, where? Thank you. Yeah.
It literally says.
It's 99% charged.
Oh.
I think- I'm gonna take the bold assumption that yes, I'm gonna. Oh, so Mom, you only have that on blinking red if you're in danger.
I'm attracting spirits.
No, you may be throwing someone into an epileptic seizure. So be careful. Now, I would say turn it on, turn it off, and then turn it on again because it's super bright when you turn it on, but it's not as bright when you turn it on.
Yeah, use that soda. Use that soda.
TikTok camera, amen.
So you have a TikTok camera.
TikTok camera's right here. Trying to get tripod for it tonight.
When do people arrive? 7:30?
7. Well, Faith texted me and said they were stuck in traffic.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might be stuck in traffic. Where did I put my bag? Sit down. Did I? You're fine. You're fine. It's just a strap. If I am crying over that, it would be very issue.
First guest.
People.
The guests.
The guests have arrived.
Yeah, let's go.
Please tea.
Oh, somebody better make sure he doesn't get stuck in there, because then
Okay.
Hello.
I'm Ted. Phil, I'll let you have your guest.
Oh, welcome.
Oh, it said Cal, it just said Calvin, so maybe we've got, maybe Calvin's in the room.
From another Calvin?
So how's your son doing?
He's doing great. He just started university, just like boom over here.
Oh my god, this is.
He's taking everything virtual, so he lives with us too.
Hi.
And he's, hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, very good. Welcome.
Awesome. Hello.
It's also my first time here, so I'm on board with all of it. Whatever the script says. Right?
Oh, sure.
Where are you guys in from?
DC.
Okay.
Same. Yes.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
How about you?
Downtown or
Yeah.
downtown? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
How about you?
I think Manassas, most of us.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Ashburn.
I'm from Richmond.
Richmond, yep.
Richmond. Ooh.
Jancy's from Richmond. She's up from Richmond. She wins the long distance contest. Longest drive contest.
My friend who's just in the bathroom was coming from Columbia.
Oh, wow.
Not too far. But she came to get me in DC.
Probably would have been an easier trip just coming from Columbia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably this week, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Where's Columbia?
Maybe about 30 minutes from here?
It's
What city is this?
southwest of Baltimore.
This is-
Upper Marlboro.
Yeah,
This is Upper Marlboro. Yeah.
30 minutes from here, 3 hours driving.
Right.
Sorry
She
I got
wins.
interrupted there.
No, you're good.
Yeah. We're actually waiting on Airbnb guests. I thought you were the Airbnb guests.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, great, like, welcome, we're your bags.
You mean the dead and breakfast?
Yes, we just had a wedding here, and they're big fans of spooky paranormal stuff, and so they brought their own signs.
I love it.
Yeah, so
I
No,
love
it's
it.
there.
that's theirs.
Yeah, but they left there like, nope, it's here now. It belongs here.
I mean, we can get started.
Yeah,
If
we really
just wanna
can.
get-
I know, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's ready to go. Let's go.
And then everybody, everybody's
Yeah,
comfortable,
one
everybody's in
window, yes,
chairs.
is in the bathroom.
This one
So
went
she'll be
off.
on the
Your
side.
way, yeah.
So the screen should just go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for whatever
Okay.
reason, it doesn't like this better.
Hey,
Okay.
I have to,
Just wanted to make sure.
My 30 seconds, so you're gonna have a conversation.
I know, right?
Do it over. Good to see you.
It's gonna get
So that's we're just going like this.
The fact that we got here at 5:30 and somebody blinked. She works with him.
I'm really okay.
Wind's really brilliant.
I've already had mine.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
It's fine to see you.
All right, I will just find a seat. Hello.
Hey, you'll have to tell me.
This isn't like the demonstration seat or anything, right?
No,
No.
no, you're that's the only one.
Watch us levitate the chair.
Watch this board. Yep.
It's very possible.
Don't mind if
It
you
is.
feel the ankle cuffs, it's by design.
When do you wanna,
Yeah.
do you wanna kick us off?
I'm
Or
gonna get the lights. Did we get it done?
She's our greeter.
Alright, hey, just let me know if anybody does stuff.
Oh, are you?
this still feels very surreal that we're about to do this.
Yeah.
It still feels very surreal that we're about to do this. I'm gonna back this up, everybody, so you all can see.
Alright, yeah, do I need to say anything like slide?
I'll work the slide for you. Here we go. Just say when.
Alright.
Just give me a nod.
Yeah.
I can see you. I can see you. They can't see me. They can't see you, but give me a second. Now they can see you.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I was down.
Just faith and Sandy.
Alright, well, we're gonna kick the evening off because this house does have a way of bringing folks together so that it feels like a great space to hang out, to congregate, to have conversations, and you kind of get lost in time here. But unfortunately, we only have about 4 hours tonight, and we have a lot of work to do thanks to pro researchers who have gathered with us tonight to lead us along the way of discovering who may still be around and really have a lot to talk about. To give you the very quick and skinny of myself and the property, 4 years ago about, I had moved to the area. Well, I was hoping to move to the area, but I'd gotten a new job which required me to commute over an hour every day back and forth. And everybody knows that's no fun. So I was looking for just a 2-bedroom house, and with very limited Redfin settings. Click, click, click. This pops up, and I was like, there has to be something wrong. I called the realtor. She said, well, it's trapped in an online auction. So good luck trying to get it, because that's based out of Texas, so we don't even know who you're bidding against. The ever-ending optimist, and I was like, it'd be great. Like, yeah, I'm gonna embark on this. A few clicks into the auction, won the house, and then everybody's like, yeah, now you've got to move into it and start renovations. And I'm like, still the optimist, it'll be no problem. When I got the house, the doors had been kicked in, deer were frequenting the interior, so if you go outside and you see a deer giving you a look, they mean business, so watch out. They're pretty mad that they've been evicted. So deer were in the house, there was no running water because the pipes had been stolen out, no central air, and essentially a giant hole up in the awning over here, and every room essentially needed to be painted as well. And thankfully no water damage though, which I think kept the structure at least standing. The house had been completely stripped except for the grand mirror that you see in the lounge and the piano. And I'm not an interior decorator, but I love the board game Clue, so essentially I was just like, I'm just gonna look at the board game and whatever's there, that's what I'm going for with the house. And sure enough, that's why you see what you see here. Did I think it was haunted upon moving in? It looks haunted. I thought there's a potential for that. My birthday is near Halloween, so I'm always okay with spooky things, but I wasn't 100% a believer, I would say, until being here and beginning renovation projects very quickly. I start to just feel something like a watching in the room, or a judgment pass, and it's like, okay, well, you didn't go to Lowe's and pick out the paint color, so sorry, this is what it's gonna be. And then hearing sounds, strange crashes, footsteps, sort of the generalized spooky things that you experience. But still, I was kind of on the fence, because it's one thing for you to believe it, but when others validate, that's when you start saying, maybe there is something to this. Not long, about 5 months after being here, I did open it up on Airbnb, and time again, guests would sort of start bringing their stories to the narrative. And then when it happened multiple times with different guests, I said, okay, like something's going on. About that time, after being here about 2 years, 2019, the first paranormal, well, no, it was, I want to say 2019, okay. Sorry, time and space after COVID just don't exist. We don't know. We don't know where we are. But the first paranormal team came in. They are very much a cold call team, so they don't want to hear any stories. They don't want to know any of the history. They want everything shut off, any electrical, and the owner has to leave the house, so there's no interference. When I was leaving that night, I saw them setting up in the dining room and thought, like everybody's having all these reports in the bedrooms, so for them to set up in the dining room, I thought nothing would be picked up. The next day, I come back, they're just out of their mind, so excited. We got some of the best evidence we've ever seen. I'm like, what are you talking about? With one of their cameras in the dining room, they pick up an entity in the corner. They tell one of their crew members to come forward. As they do that, the entity shifts, goes to the other side of the room, grows to the sides of the room, and then as they reach out to it, it backs up, like, don't touch me. And at that point, seeing that kind of visual, I felt very confirmed that there are things walking and existing among us in here. Not so much in the apartment spaces in the corner above the bedroom, but everywhere else in the house is kind of open game for these spirits. So that's sort of the proving point. And I won't go into all the stories of the guests tonight. Maybe as we go room to room, we'll want to bring something up. But I will just say, as far as the history, that's my cue now, right? Just to tell the history, general history.
That's it.
Yeah. So the history of this farm This is one of the Bowie plantation homes, and it actually, the farm itself was a tobacco farm that dates back towards the 1600s, 1670s. It was in the Bowie family, and it belonged originally to John Smith as a part of a land grant. So they used to do circle grants where they literally would point at a map in England and say, all right, this is gonna be yours, and send people out. So John Smith, to Bowie family legend connection, is connected to their lineage. So as the Bowies moved in here, they were here from the 1670s until about 1850. And at that point, the first plantation burned down mysteriously. I have contacts with the ancestors of the family. No one has any idea. They just mentioned that there's a lot of lost relics with the Revolutionary War, other family heritage pieces, which we've now started discovering over on the other side of the house because there's a sloping hill, and we were going to put in rose bushes, and you get about 7 inches down and you just find all sorts of dishware and artifacts and nails and things are just, it was just basically, it burned down, shove it over here, and then they rebuilt. So in 1852, on the same spot, they built back another plantation home, still with the Bowie family. Here are some Bowies, and in fact, this couple is very special and to this time right now, because this couple, this is Eliza and Edgar, and they were married in the dining room in the 1800s. Well, we just had our first major wedding, so you had 150 people running around, wedding vows, a magician, like all sorts of things going on in the house last week. So personally, if I were to think, you know, anybody know?
There's someone pulling up right now.
Okay,
So I don't know.
I'll check on that in just a second. So if anyone were to maybe be checking in on you tonight, I think it might be these two. Another thing about this gentleman here, Edgar Patterson, is I hadn't even had this picture for more than a year until I met with the relatives of the family. In this room specifically, this chair, any chair that you put in this corner, it would pull out from time to time and be facing the doors here, facing out back. And it would happen over and over. I would accuse others of doing it. Family members or people who were coming for the Airbnbs would come in and they'd say, oh, are you down in the common spaces? And I'd say no. So we didn't know why this chair is moving out. Some people thought maybe it's because it overlooks the cemetery down below, which belongs to the house. After sharing this story with the Bowies, they said, oh, we have another story for you. And they said that Edgar Patterson actually passed away in the house at the age of 49. And before he died, though, he did say he had one request. And essentially that was, no matter who's helping, whether it's family or the attendant, pull my chair over to the window so I can watch the trains go by. Well, this is where the train track is as well. So we can only surmise that maybe it's Ed Patterson that's pulling this chair. Another cool thing, because things happen very quickly here, is this is not your typical haunted house. It's an evolving story, and we're learning more and more about it, so it's like ghost archaeology. The chair that you passed in the main room, which is a big white old chair, that is a belonging to the Bowie family and is the only antique that has come back into the house that is original to the house. So that came from Old Man Ben and was Ed Patterson's chair. So, if that chair starts moving tonight, or if you brave to sit in that chair tonight, we'll see what happens, but it could be kind of a paranormal hotspot considering it just came into the house. Is anybody coming in? Does anybody need
I
that?
think,
Tina's out there. Just keep an eye out.
yes, Tina's keeping an eye out.
Okay, alright. So,
It's me.
Okay.
It's not the Airbnb.
oh, okay. Then join.
Alright.
They're stuck at dinner, I think, as it happens. Do you
Don't worry.
want to sit in this chair?
We just had a lovely story about that chair, so feel free to sit in it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we've got seats here.
Yourselves.
There we go.
And everyone says, that was me.
Anyway, so the house stayed. Welcome. Welcome.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I was actually just about to get up, don't worry. Sorry.
So the house stayed in the Bowie family until the 1850s, and then, or until the 1950s. So they had it from 1670s all the way to 1950. At that point, a member of the Bowie family became ill and needed to move back to Washington, D.C., and they had to sell the house. So in selling the house, it went to a state representative, who you may also make contact with tonight, Calvin Johnson, and his wife, so Gladys. So Calvin and Gladys got the house, but they totally renovated it. They gutted the whole thing. They took out all four chimneys, so 8 fireplaces, 4 chimneys, retrofitted it to the 1950s, which is why you see these interesting wallpapers in several of the rooms, archways. If you get to the kitchen is very diner style, and things like parquet floor. The other thing is that they added this entire wing that you're sitting in, so this was probably like, the billiard room, or in the daytime, like the women's card room. And they were quite the DC socialites. So they sat around this room, kind of like, swapping the stories of DC and maybe blackmail, who knows, like the dirt on people. This side of the house is also the more active side of the house, so the manifestations, I would say, are stronger. They're, like in this room, we have the chair that moves. This one, that you're sitting in. Yeah.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Like, hold on tight, you don't know. Also, above us is the room where the lurker has been seen. So if you've seen Kindred Spirits, that's what's featured in the episode. Andrea's like, yes. But for a long time, people were afraid of this spirit who appeared and seemingly did not have eyes, and people would feel a pressure on their chest. But a group of psychics came about 1 year today, or 1 year ago to this day, and they picked up on different instances and said that perhaps the spirit actually was someone who used to take care of the kerosene lamps, was wrongfully accused for the fire that burned down the first plantation, beaten, and it's him, that he's still around and he's not happy about that, but he doesn't mean anybody any harm. And if you encounter him in any way, just talk to him, chat with him. He's actually a good person. It's just a misunderstood situation. So you have that individual, you have the chair, you have some other happenings over here. Some people say it's because this great tree that you may have seen out front, it's the second oldest beech tree in the state of Maryland, and it has a lot of energy. This portion of the house is built over those roots, so potentially those roots are kind of what's generating some of that energy. Also, this being the newest edition built in the 1950s, we don't know if it was built on top of something that maybe it wasn't supposed to be. So, a couple of explanations of why. Also, it's the closest area of the house to the cemetery, which is kind of down the hill and across the train tracks. So maybe it's just a shorter distance for some of the folks out there to get back into the house. I don't know. That's me. That's me doing the thing. I think that's it for my portion of the tour. There is another side note about the crazy history of this house. You can find it by Googling the Oprah Network and seeing where the previous tenants to me were a man and his wife who moved in. They weren't getting along, but instead of working things out, he moved in 17 members of the extended family to get on his wife's nerves. And then there was a lot of drama, a lot of good drama in that. What they essentially made all these apartment spaces in the house to get away from each other, which is why it's kind of nicely sectioned off for guests to stay overnight and for me to have an apartment space, etc. So that's just a side note. Again, this house is an onion. It has so many layers, and I'll be around tonight to happily answer any questions you have when you're not investigating. But I'm going to turn it over to the real pros now, who are here to conduct real research. We're not here tonight just to share stories and get excited. We're here to possibly have a communication with those who love this property so much that they're still around us. And you will not meet a more dedicated team to trying to unearth some of these interesting happenings than T and Phil. So, I will turn it over to you guys. If you need anything, I'm here. Otherwise, I'll get you a beverage or anything else you may need.
Do you want me to kick this off, Phil? I mean,
Kick it off.
because you get the other slide. You get the cool, meaningful slide. I get this slide. I get the spooky slide right here. So some of you already know when. That's not me.
That was when.
That was when.
Oh, that should be going off. It should be,
They shouldn't have stopped.
It should have stopped.
It's been going off.
It has been going off.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you. Just let us get through this part, and then you can play with that as much as
Yeah.
you want.
welcome to Linville Manor, where weird stuff happens and every day that ends with Y.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're OSI, which stands for Old Spirits Investigations. And for those of you who know Wynn, yeah, we fell in love with Wynn first time we came here. And I do want to stress that that was the first time we came here. We've been here 2 separate times. This is our 3rd visit here, and this is our first. This is our 2nd of the first time we've ever done public events. So thank you all very much for being our guinea pigs for what we're about to do tonight. So a little bit about us. We've been established in 2021. So yes, we are 1 whopping year old and some change. And in that year, we've learned a lot about paranormal investigating, not just about how to do it, but also how to do it and stream it live, which we'll be doing tonight. We will have this available, though, as an episode of Old Spirits, which is a YouTube special, a YouTube series, which has a Halloween special coming up, and I'll get to that in a second. So who are we? We're 2 dads that are living our best life by investigating the afterlife, and that's just the easiest way to sum up what started this adventure. Phil basically got me here on a dare. And now I'm here, and we're doing this together, and it's been one of the most amazing experiences that I can talk about. And as far as the 2 of us are talking about, you'll hear Phil's side of it when it's his turn. What we are not, though, is we are not Ghost Adventures. Neither are we 28 Days Haunted. And I bring up 28 Days Haunted because that just went live on Netflix. And tomorrow there will be a review from Old Spirits of 28 Days Haunted, or as we like to say, I watched 28 Days Haunted so you wouldn't have to. That's 6 hours that you are saved on Netflix. We are live on Twitch. We're live on Twitch tonight. Right now we're off season on YouTube, but our season's going to be starting in February, and we'll probably be starting with an episode dedicated to one of the locations I have listed down here. Our past visits have included Crescent SCI, which is a former tuberculosis ward that was turned into a mental asylum that was then turned into, with the wisdom of the 80s, a medium security prison, where they allowed both the prison inmates and the mental patients to mingle. And of course, it sounds as well as you think it went. We did the Jenny Wade House up in Gettysburg, which is the gift that keeps on giving. And we were the last team to visit the crash site of TWA Flight 514, which was one of the more influential flights and one of the most influential disasters of its day. And if you're curious about that, that's our Halloween special. We are releasing an edition of that particular case with footage that was cut. The original cut was 90 minutes, and I cut it down to 55. So that gives you an idea of what was cut and what we've restored into this Halloween special that's going to air on Monday. And then there is the Candy Factory of Manassas. We were the first team to go in there. So we were the last one for TWA, we were the first one for the Candy Factory. And that's going to probably be our season 2 opener. And that's going to be happening in February. So hopefully you'll be joining us on that. If you want to know, or if you want to see the stuff that we've done on YouTube, feel free to visit oldspiritsinvestigations.com. And thank you. And that will take us straight to the YouTube site, and everything's there. And then finally, there's Linville Manor. So that's where we are tonight. And the question is, what can you expect? So here's a clip we're going to play for you, and this is from the live stream that we were doing, and we were getting set up for another session. It was actually in the library. I'll let the clip do the talking from there. Oh, actually, this is Phil's turn, and then
we'll play the clip. Okay. So, just a show of hands, how many of you here have been on a paranormal investigation?
Oh, so we have
Okay, so we've got some veterans and we've got some fresh faces. So what to expect? I mean, this is kind of our cardinal rule that when we go to an investigation, we don't really expect to get any activity. We expect to spend a good time with like-minded souls in very amazing locations, connecting with the history and just doing something different and getting out of the general routine of life. And going in with that expectation, the intent that goes along with it is to have that good experience and to connect and to try to tell the story of whatever may be here. And with that philosophy, we've actually been pretty fortunate going out with that in mind. But even on those nights where nothing happens, it's still just a great night.
When were those nights, Phil? That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Next bullet point. Next bullet point.
So expect dad jokes, as you can see, because we are dads. Stories and moments of silence. But think of it like fishing or looking for a shooting star. You know, you wait, and that's part of the process, is slowing down and almost get into this, almost a meditative state almost, because when you get into that groove. And then when you see that shooting star, holy crap, and it might have been an instant that maybe lasted 3 or 4 seconds, but just one interaction can make your entire life. And we're hoping that tonight we get lucky and we have many more interactions than that. But again, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. But when it happens, and I'm going to read right off the slide because he said it perfectly here. Be ready, because it can catch you off guard. We have heard disembodied voices here. We have been touched here. Our hair's been caressed, cold spots, you name it, things that can be a little startling. The energy here is just magnificent. We have not felt anything threatening since the several times we've been here. So just lean into it, be open to it, and that's the biggest thing. Even if you are a skeptic, just try to be open. And
So this is the clip that I set up and then realized it was actually Phil's turn. So let's go ahead and let's play the clip. Nope.
always trying to steal my thunder.
I don't know. I was trying to see it. Let's try it again. No. We have two slides in here that are the same. That shouldn't have happened. Let me just do this. There we go.
I don't know what's on the switch in here and what's not.
There's a switch right there.
The whole room's on.
There's a switch right there.
Yeah, but that switch does not seem to do anything. It just shuts off the armor.
It shuts off the armor.
Let me see, there's a switch over here. These switches here.
That was not us.
Jam.
I think I heard Sabrina's home. Huh? What? I thought you were in another room. Did you not?
I heard that.
I thought
that was Serena and her mom.
me too.
I heard it too.
It wasn't.
That was not real mom.
She's right behind you, T.
All I said was,
So that happened live on our stream. And not only did we hear it, but later on, because there's a 5-second delay, you actually see our chat over here going, I heard it, I heard it, I heard it, I heard it. And that's kind of what to expect about tonight is, it's all about intent, but just be ready if something weird happens. Now, we already covered that. This is what not to expect. And I want to make sure this is covered because we did cover it in the Eventbrite invite, but it doesn't hurt to go into this again. We're not taunters. We don't taunt. We don't evoke the spirits. We've never had to do that, except for one time when there was something that was. It just decided it wanted to come along with us for a walk, and Phil literally turned around in the middle of a street somewhere in Stanton and just said, "You need to stop where you are right now." And I did, because I thought he was talking to me.
You thought so, didn't you?
Yeah. He had the dad voice on, so I was like, "Yes, sir." And
I absolutely did.
so, in the year and some change, no one has bent backwards and floated off the floor. We do have on our iPhones, we do have Running Up That Hill on infinite loop just in case. But that's also, with the exception of maybe 3 locations, Phil and I have never felt in danger. And we have never felt in danger here. This is my mom's first ghost hunt. I'm not going to take her somewhere where I think that the spirits have got a grudge. Okay, so that's just a given. Another thing not to expect are most things you see on either Ghost Adventures or 28 Days Haunted. I still haven't gotten over this series. I really haven't.
He really hasn't. He
I
hasn't
have
stopped
not.
talking about it.
Yeah. And also ghost bro behavior, because that's not us. And what I mean by ghost bro behavior, you know it. You know it when you see it. It involves sleeve tats, it involves soul patches, and it just involves this general attitude of everything's out to get you, and no. I'm sorry. We actually did an event with a couple of ghost bros, and I remember as we were driving away, there was just this. It was an unspoken message between me and Phil, which was never again, and it really has defined who we are with Old Spirits. So that is, this is also the stuff that we will have zero tolerance for tonight. It goes back again to intent. And if your intent is to make fun of what we're doing, make fun of what may or may not be here, depending on your beliefs, yeah, we have zero tolerance for that as well. We'll ask you to leave. And no, you're not going to get a refund. For us, we do not take ourselves seriously, but we take what we do very seriously. And it's worked really well for us so far in this past year and a half. And I think we're on a good trajectory with this. So really, now comes the part where we turn to you all and we ask if you have any questions for us about tonight, about what to expect, about your intent, anything of that. Yes, in the back.
I'm curious. I have not watched 28 Days Haunted. What is it that was? You're summarizing it, so I don't have to watch it.
Oh yeah.
You
Well,
give like
trust me.
a summary.
Give him the short version.
Well, where would you like me to begin? With the team that uses the isolation tank from Altered States, or the God Helmet, which was apparently something picked up out of the toy clearance bin from the Thanos collection, but rigged with a whole bunch of magnets, then put against your skull to help you get in touch with the other side. Where would you like me to begin?
You know what? That explains a
think
lot.
That's what I thought. Just wait until you see the review going live tomorrow.
Good job, team.
Any other questions? Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. We're going to split up into two teams, and I think what's convenient is this corner here. You all are on my team because you're sitting close to my mom. So you are Team A, and we are going to be going upstairs. Team B, which is over here, is going to stay down here. And the plan is that we're going to do an hour and a half above and an hour and a half below. And right now, we're just going to break up and...
Can I go with that team since that's my friend?
Or can I go with that team?
You can swap. That's good. You guys can swap. That's fine.
Well, we need to take someone off of this team.
Yeah,
I
well, they
can go.
just
I
did.
can stay with her.
They want to stay here, and she wants to stay here. So
Yeah, so we'll just stay here.
that works.
Yeah, well, I'll
Okay.
just go with you.
I'll just pretend I know what's going on. And stand right here.
Roll with it. Roll with it.
And then we will be getting back together around
Yes.
10:30 this evening for what we like to call, what do we call it?
Toast with the Ghost.
So we've got some champagne, we've got some soda, but we've started this tradition where we have a champagne toast with the spirits. So that'll be happening around 10:30.
That will be happening at
Also
10:30.
doing a raffle, so you can win fun prizes too.
All right.
We're winning champagne, it's okay.
Yes, you're getting champagne.
Champagne isn't really the prize, but I mean, hey, you know.
It is.
It's good for
It
us.
sounds like a good surprise to me. Or
Okay.
surprise? No, prize.
Team, do I have to stay?
Do what?
No, I'm gonna move
Do
it.
I go upstairs?
You're going upstairs. Yep. So we're all going upstairs.
That's the
And
one.
But I shouldn't be with his mom's suite. It feels like a safe one, right?
Yeah. Do you need me to be this
Float, I mean-
Okay.
all right. So let me see.
All right, you got all your stuff?
Yep, all my stuff
That
is.
will break
So if everyone wants to meet, so if my team wants to meet me at the base of the stairs, we'll be ready to go. All right. Now this,
That white chair there is an original chair.
yeah, that's the original chair that Wynn was talking about, and that was the one that. Perfect.
I was thinking of like Calvin Johnson and Gladys.
This.
Characters from
Oh.
too.
Sorry.
Do you get another person?
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna give me another person or not, but that's okay.
And we have 3 that are about to.
They're about to get here.
They're here.
Oh, they're here.
They're just dropping their bags off and coming
Okay.
right down.
Then I will go on ahead and take those 3. This is upside down, but that's okay. I would just deal with it.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, you can actually. The first time we were here, we actually spent the night, and actually, my wife and Phil's wife stayed in a different room. We stayed in the room where the work.
Faith is a good friend of ours, so she knows Tina.
Oh, so you know? Okay. Okay. Well, then I'm like I said before we head upstairs. I'm gonna wait until the folks from upstairs join us. I'll do like a very truncated, like 5-minute version of what just happened here, and then we'll head on upstairs. Let's see. So we're just waiting for them upstairs to put their stuff down, and then we'll head on up with them.
I'll let them know that
Okay.
their group is ready.
Yep, yep. I'm gonna move this back, everybody. Now, chances are they're gonna turn off that. They're gonna turn that off once we get started.
This is exciting. Do you want me to unplug this light, or is this?
So what?
Do you want me to unplug this light, or is that okay?
No, I think if anything, the only thing we're gonna have to probably unplug or turn off is gonna be the music.
Okay, yes, I'm cutting that
But
now.
as far as that, you're gonna have to, I'd check with Phil, but I wouldn't worry about that light. It's pretty innocuous, so it's great atmosphere. It's great atmosphere there.
But we're buried in my spare room. Like, that thing was $300.
Have the ghost whispered to you yet and said, "Tell me your favorite
So
cookie
so what
recipe?"
happened? So Mom,
Outside. Somebody was behind me outside and I could hear the rustle of the leaves and I turned around.
and nobody was there.
It had just started getting dark and we were down by the slave quarters.
Oh, okay. Well, where the slave quarters once stood.
Well, yeah.
Did you tell?
There's some buildings.
Did you tell? Tina?
Well,
to,
I stopped and turned around because I knew somebody was behind me.
right.
And it
No one
wasn't.
was there.
Okay. So you're gonna.
Yeah, I'm floating.
Oh, you're floating? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, right now we're waiting on. Right now we're waiting on.
So you have some
the
people
guests
that
from
are staying
upstairs.
all night tonight.
Yes, yeah, they're doing the
But
Airbnb.
staying
Are they interested in?
Very.
They do have.
Very interested.
So
Good
that's
for
why
them.
Yeah, so that actually worked out great because they had booked, we had talked about doing an investigation and I said, "Hey, would you mind this happening tonight while you're here?" And they're like, "Yeah." So
Is
it
mom
all
over?
works
Oh,
out.
is mom
No, Mom.
Everybody's happy.
What?
Because I heard. Oh.
I think mom's over here.
I'll
No,
turn
I
off
thought
all
I
the
heard
air
something.
machines.
So what?
I'm gonna turn off the air as well.
Okay.
It would be nice to actually have something after the last couple things we've had. Nothing.
The wells. I was walking
So the rooms
down the
that,
hill.
that people have seen,
deep are
that
they?
have said to us.
They're only about, well, they used to be
I've actually set
fountains.
up a camera.
Okay.
There's a deeper well right up
Data
there.
recording devices.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't get too close. I didn't know how sturdy the,
Just
and y'all didn't know I was out there, so I
see how
thought,
that
well, you
goes.
know, if I fall in the well, he's rid of me.
And as far
But-
as.
But I saw the ones that
there's
there's
in here. It's,
2 or 3 of them, so they were fountains at one time.
Yeah, yeah. Probably not. That they put
Uh-huh.
them in.
no, it's not.
So this red line?
That's very interesting.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, good. They're getting something in there. Okay.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did, Spence. She did say her first experience, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I gotta say, it's pretty cool. I was crossing my fingers something would happen with Twitch Grandma. So we'll see how that goes.
I don't know about that. I'm not- I don't know whether that's so great
I
or
was
not.
rated by this other content creator called Margaret Wire.
Oh,
Okay, so,
yeah.
so you know, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
small content creator.
I know, right?
Yeah. Of course, I butchered his name when I first heard it because, of course, my daughter knew who Markiplier was, but when I first read it, I thought it was like Montpellier, so I said Markiplier. It sounded very French.
I'm Korean.
Well, then I pulled out my copy of Twitch for Dummies because that's one of the books I've written. And he was like, oh my God, this guy wrote a book about Twitch. That's such a dad thing to do. Well, when his people came over to raid me, that's when they dubbed me as Twitch Dad. And I was raising money for Able Gamers that night, and they basically pushed me to 5,000. So I went on ahead and I shaved my beard on stream. And the thing was, I was basically doing what streamers do, where I was explaining the process of shaving. And it was very touching. A lot of people in the stream were saying, I've lost touch with my dad for years, and this is the most informative thing I've ever heard. And it just kind of stuck. So here's the rest of our team.
We're looking for A team.
Yeah, so real quick, I'm just gonna give you the 5-minute version. I'll be your host tonight. I'll be walking you through the process. We're gonna be going upstairs. We're gonna be upstairs for roughly an hour, 30 minutes. No taunting, nothing you see on Ghost Adventures, nothing on 28 Days Haunted. And if you haven't seen 28 Days Haunted, the good news is that I have a review coming up tomorrow on Old Spirits, our YouTube channel, where I watched it so you won't have to. Okay, that being said.
Do you want me to carry that?
No, I got this. Okay. I got this. So let's follow me upstairs. The first room we're going to stop in. The first room we're stopping in is called the Overlook. Okay, so. Okay, come on in. All right. That was me. Literally, the iPad just slipped off my hand. Okay. So first thing I feel like I need to ask is anybody staying in this room tonight?
Yes.
You are?
Me.
Okay. So let me tell you.
Plan, but I'm not sure.
After how things go here, we'll have to wait and see how it traverses. So, quick history about this room. This is my favorite room at Linville Manor, and here's why. One, I'm a writer, so is Phil. We're both writers of science fiction. Phil tends to go into the darker stuff. He goes into horror. But there are two reasons why this room is called the Overlook. One, it overlooks this area. Okay, it overlooks the people coming in.
And The Shining.
And The Shining. This is The Shining bathroom. If you walk in there and you take a look, it's very reminiscent of the Shining bathroom.
And you can turn the light on.
And you can turn the light on there for now, before we go dark.
Do you want this one off?
That'll be off in just a second.
Oh, it definitely is.
But yeah, it looks like the bathroom. In fact, I'll even bring the live stream around so I can. So yeah, so this is the entire reason why this bathroom or this room is called the Overlook is mainly because of the reminiscence of how it looked in The Shining. Now, there's that. But keeping that in mind, if you look over here in the bookcase, you'll notice, and I'm going to see if I can't get, you'll notice that there's a theme with all the books that are in here. They're all Stephen King. They're all Stephen King. And you've got, of course, the typewriter that Jack used. I mean, Wynn went out of his way to make this room as uber nerdy as possible, and I respect that so much. I think it's great.
Mention the axe inside of the.
I did not see the axe. You really have an axe. Oh my God.
And it's the red room.
It is, and it's a red room, and it is also a red room. Oh, that's right. There is an accident.
There's an accident.
Oh, we're definitely.
So
Just in case.
that is.
Right?
So that is the room. That is the room. This is the room that has been called the Overlook. And again, because of all those little touches, this is why it's my favorite room. So now, before we go lights out, I just want to explain some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing here first. First off, I'm going to do a quick, what is called a base reading. I just tested this. Don't you dare not work on it.
I've got battery.
The problem is this is kind of a complicated device. Oh wait, there we go. All right. Whew, give me a heart attack there. Okay, so really, I love this place. I love this place so much.
Is it already?
Did it drain?
Is it right there?
So right now, this is what is called an EMF reader. For anybody who, I should ask real quick too. Is this your first time doing this sort of thing, or have you done a paranormal investigation before?
Kind of amateur. This is our first like real one with an actual like team. I would say totally, but yeah.
Okay. Well, first off, we're a whopping 1.5 years old,
Okay.
so we still got that new paranormal investigator smell about us. Secondly, it is 2.3, just in this corner.
Is that high?
It shouldn't be over 0.5.
Okay, and so that's the side too. I'll be throwing side notes
Yeah.
Throughout the night. That's the side where individuals report that someone sits on the bed in the middle of the night
No.
or sits on top of them. Also, where you come into the room and it looks like someone has been sleeping, and you make it, and it looks like someone is there. This was Gladys Johnson's bedroom too. Where she passed.
Where she passed. Yeah, where she passed.
Are you staying in this room by yourself?
No, the answer is it's a big
It was a yes, but now hard no.
Yeah, on
So-
that side.
So anyway, so what this is an EMF reader, and this EMF reader basically looks for electromagnetic fields. Electromagnetic fields are actually normal. You know, it's around 0.5 to 0. It's just normal to have that sort of thing, because we generate electromagnetic fields. However, when it starts spiking as it is now to 2.3, 1.6, that's when you start going, hey, wait a minute. And right now, it should be a base between 0.5 or lower. And what I'm doing is I'm just doing a base sweep just to see how this room is reacting. Right now, it's at 0. Right now, it's at 0. Everything seems fine, and that's the way it should be. But if I get near the bed, we're going 0.3, 0.4, and that's really impressive. Now this does not look like the EMF reader you would have in a game like Phasmophobia. This is called a millimeter, and the millimeter is sort of it's a 0.3 right here, 0.3, 0.4, and this is the bed. And the thing to know about electromagnetic fields is that this is a real thing. One of the things I loved about the original Ghost Hunters is that with them being plumbers, they knew that faulty wiring creates really bad EMF fields, which can make people paranoid, which can give people sickness. And it came with the instruction manual here with this thing, prolonged exposure to really high EMF fields, well, they can cause cancer. Which is why this God helmet concept that I was telling you about, really bad idea, but still. So the millimeter, what's nice about the millimeter is that it is a Swiss Army knife. If it's not working as a millimeter, it also works as a REM pod. And what a REM pod does, as soon as I get that started, is that it will do. It basically creates a field around here, around itself, and then whatever breaks it, that's what makes the lights go off. Come on. It's a matter of making sure that.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. So that's one of the devices we're going to use tonight, is a REM pod. This one is not as common, but I may not need it.
It's like people come with stuff, but they never have good devices. So
Can you step away from that, please? Can you step away from that, please, or I will take that toy away.
Gladys, will you step away, please? or if you're the one stepping in from Gladys, would you please release the device?
Yeah, good. I saw him.
I'm supposed to do that, but
I was gonna say, maybe it's too close to the bed, but.
Okay, I'm gonna try that again. I had to adjust it because we wanted to see if there really was somebody here or if it was just acting squirrely for whatever reason, because these devices can be a little twitchy. No pun intended for anybody on the live stream. If someone is here with us, would you mind getting closer to that? Please? Just to let us know you're here.
Well, either it was the bed or someone was like, no, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. How dare you? How dare you? This is one device you see a lot of at the REM pods. You see that in a lot of the ghost shows. This one, not as much. So this is a new device from the people, it's called Ghost Stop. And yeah, it took me a long time. I shopped with them for several months until I realized, oh wait, GameStop, Ghost Stop. Oh, jeez. So yeah, same concept. What these guys do is they create gear, whether it's devices like this or devices like their own. And this is called a Flux 2. I hate its name because I always think of Back to the Future. So instead, we have one downstairs called Simon, because it reminds me of an old video game where you had to do a Simon Says, and it makes the same kind of noises. So we call the one downstairs Simon. This one I just got for my birthday, which was yesterday. And this is the Halloween edition, so I'm calling it Charlie Brown.
Aww.
So we got Charlie Brown up here, we got Simon downstairs. Now I'm gonna start Charlie Brown if you decide you're not gonna touch that box or get close to it. Does anybody want to communicate with us through the REM pod? No? Oh, I forgot my recorder. While I'm recording. Oh wait, am I recording? Now I'm recording. Okay. I was also recording there, so I'm good. I'm covered. This is why you always have redundancy. You always want to have something recording something somewhere. All right, I tell you what, I'm going to move this. Okay? Can I come up to this device? Yes or no? Okay, I'm coming up to it. That was me.
And I need to be away from the,
Wow, okay. When in doubt. This is what you call the angry REM pod. Okay. So what I've done is I've actually tightened up the field. You notice that if I hit that button, it would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. The 5th light means it's got the widest field. But this one, I've made it so tight, you have to be right up on top of it to set it off. The way this works is I go ahead and I turn it on. And the green light basically will do 1 foot, the yellow will do 2 feet. And when that calibrates, it should just be a blue light. And it's just going to go on and off very softly. How this works is that if something gets up to it, and the idea is that when it goes green, when it goes to blue, it's in neutral.
Oh, is this the yes/no prism? Where
And
you
this is
kinda
yes.
ask, yes, be the green, no, be the red.
Yep. And it's been very responsive at both here. It was very responsive at TWA. It's a good device to have on hand. And it's been really responsive at Gettysburg. So I should probably ask first off, is it all right if I sit on the bed? If it's okay for me to sit on the bed, please make that green light go off. If you'd rather not have me sit on the bed, make the red light go off and I will gladly move. So let me introduce myself then. My name is T, and maybe you recognize me from previous visits. Wynn was such a lovely host that we decided to come back here. And this time we invited people to watch us do what we did in this room and in other spaces. But we just wanted to have a conversation. We're not here for you to do tricks for us, but that device on the floor and this device right here are ways that you can communicate with us. We would love to connect with you right now. So if you want to reach out with that black box on the floor and just let us, you don't even have to touch the antenna, just get close to it. That would let us know you're here. Or you can simply get close to this blue light and make it change color. It'll let us know you're here.
And I'm gonna check on the other group.
Okay, sure.
But I did want to make mention, in addition to it being Gladys's bedroom, this historically was the birthing room. So this is where any live births that were happening in the house would be brought to this room, and midwives would help bring the child into the world. Lots of guests report seeing a woman pacing here, but I would especially think that if you wanted to have a conversation about it, they might be of interest, because 2 weeks ago, a group out of Queen Latifah's independent film company came to film a portion of a movie here about midwives of the Civil War. And they brought midwives from the area who, like, ancestors traced back and infants, and so that might also be an area of interest to whoever might be with you. All right.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
One of the things you'll also find out too is conversation. You can have conversations, just random conversations, and you'll get a response from the device. And now comes the hard part. What set it off? Was it when? Was it one of the words that was said? You know, and so now comes the investigation part. So, Mom, would you mind turning that light off?
No.
And I will go on ahead. That was probably me. Might have been.
Door
Would you mind
closed.
closing the door? Thank you. Yeah, that was me. Okay. And the reason why, now here's the thing. Here's the first myth I'd like to dispel about paranormal investigation. It does not always have to happen at night. The reason and the theory of why you do this at night is because if you turn off all the lights, it takes down some of that surrounding electromagnetic fields that's created by electronic devices, phones, and things like that. Fewer people are on their phones at night. And it's supposed to be a little more still, a little more calming, a little more quiet. But that doesn't mean that you can't have activity happen during the day. The place that it was a few weekends ago, Phil, Tina, Pip, and myself, we all went to this place called Crescent SCI, which is a former TV ward that was turned into a mental asylum and then turned into a medium security prison. And if you think that's a wild combination, it worked out as well as you might think it did. And with that, we were walking around during the day. When Phil and I were there last, we spent 12 hours at night. It was a very different place at night. But even during the day, we picked up whispers. There were some strange things we got on the spirit box, something we'll be dealing with a little later. But right now, we want to focus on you. We want to focus on who we're talking to tonight. Is there anyone with us right now? Again, you can make the green light go off, as you saw me do it. You can just brush by it. Or you can go on the other side and make a red light go off. Would you care to let us know if you're here? Give us a sign of any kind.
Call her name.
right, Mom. Maybe because you are the older person here, the spirits want to talk to you because they could probably connect with you better. I'm not. That wasn't a dig, Mom. That wasn't a dig.
If it's a female midwife, then yeah, she might want to talk to another female.
Do you want to talk to my mom instead of me? Green for my mom, red for me.
Please don't be green.
Mom, you said you wanted an experience.
I have one outside.
And you're done? Okay.
But is it Gladys? Is Gladys with us? In this room where babies were born?
If this is Gladys, make the light go green. If it's not Gladys, make the light go red.
Wonder how old Gladys was when she died.
She was up there. She was up there. She outlasted her husband, I know that. One of the other things that you want to make sure when you're on these type of investigations is that you're not throwing question on question on question on question. Because if you're doing that, you don't know what the response is to. Now we have other devices in here that you can communicate with us. Okay? So now that you've made the red light go off, I'm going to assume that means no. So does that mean... So I'm going to ask another question, and I'll give you plenty of time to answer it. I'll ask a different question than what I was thinking. Would you prefer we left this room? Green for yes, red for no. Take your time. If you want us to leave, make the green light go off, please. If you want us to stay, you can make the red light go off. And we'll try a different kind of questioning, okay? This is where paranormal investigation is like fishing. There's a lot of sitting and waiting. And this is the part that they edit out from the television shows.
Yeah, all their investigations are like 8 hours condensed into 45 minutes.
Exactly. So, you're a fan of those shows, are you? Now, one thing that's important to point out is, and it's okay, I'll be the first one to say, it's okay to be skeptic. It is more than okay to ask questions of like, something setting that off, or there's gotta be something in the air. When I had Simon at the crash site of TWA, I kept zooming in on it, because I was convinced bugs were setting it off, or I was convinced that there was something that was making it go off. And yet, there's nothing around this. And it's answering to either a temperature change or it's answering to motion. And that's motion and temperature within 2 feet of it. On either side of it. I can be behind it. Oh, is that me?
Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
I think that one might have been.
Let me try that again. I don't think that was me. You do that a lot too in this. You do.
Yeah. Are you too far?
Okay, so I'm out of. Okay, now hang on. you're playing with us now. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Well, we know that you're here now. We know that you're here now. So I'm T. My name is T, and I'd like to know if this is Gladys we're talking to, as my mom said, or is this someone else? If it's Gladys, make the green light go off. If it's somebody else, make the red light go off. And I know whoever's here can do both, because we've seen it. So if that's you, Gladys, could you please make the green light go off? If not, if it's somebody else, please make the red light go off.
Could it be a baby and they don't understand?
Well, I was going to ask, did anybody here have a question?
That's my question.
If you have a question, feel free to ask it. You just have to do it confidently. You don't have to broadcast it. It's not like you don't want to Baggins it where you're trying to communicate with a spirit that's 2 blocks away. You're in the same room. Make it conversational. Did you want to ask a question? Feel
I was
free.
wondering if maybe it was a baby and they don't understand our questions. Because they were babies. No. Just curious.
And that's fine to be curious. That it's okay. It's okay. Don't ever feel foolish if you want to ask a question. And I remember I sent this clip to my mom because I wanted her to say, I'm not losing my mind, right? You hear this too, right? There was a clip of my very first investigation. I was walking around and I was asking questions. Is there anybody in the room with me right now? And I paused as I'm moving into another room. And I remember saying, I'm new at this, so go gently on me. And I hear absolute silence. And I thought to myself, okay, it's gonna be a long weekend, or it's gonna be a long night. I get home, I'm playing that clip, and it went like this. Is there anyone here with me right now? I'm new at this, so go gently on me. No. I heard that and I screamed out for my wife, and I said, listen to this. And that was my first lesson. My first lesson is don't ever feel foolish, because you never know what you're gonna. If you were to ask me what is the scariest part about paranormal investigation, it's reviewing the evidence. It's always reviewing the evidence.
Because I'm a skeptic.
And I'm a skeptic too, Mom. So don't sweat it. I'm the Mulder to his Scully. I'm the Scully to Phil's Mulder. Remember that. If this is Gladys, did you enjoy life in Washington, D.C.? If you did, please make the green light go off. If you want to be honest with us and you didn't, go ahead and make the red light go off. We'd love to know more about you. Were you part of the Bowie family? Green for yes, red for no. Did you live on this land before the Bowie family? Green for yes, red for no. That's interesting.
It seems more responsive to conversations
Yeah,
than direct questions.
and sometimes that happens. And sometimes that happens, but what's interesting is I just felt just a slight chill come by here, and the air conditioning isn't on. We would know if the air conditioning was on. Okay, so I'm going to try one more device just to see how you or how somebody else reacts to it. It's an easier way for you to talk with us instead of the red green light or the REM pod in the middle of the room. If you're okay with that, go ahead and make the green light go off just to let me know that I can move. If you would prefer to use this device to talk to us, make the red light go off. Sometimes no answer is your response. Okay, I'm gonna, would you mind turning the light on back over there? Just so I have something to see. Okay. Yep, that's me. Yeah, I know. I should have also mentioned in there, have a good pair of walking shoes.
Yeah.
All right.
But are you wearing cowboy boots? What, these? Yeah. Okay.
Hey Mom, do you know what time it is?
There you go, they're amazing. Make me feel very
You're gonna need that tonight.
I might sleep in it.
8:24.
8:24, so okay,
But
about
wear them with
about another half
in
hour.
case you have to run out to get to work quickly.
Okay.
She's got the aquachair. Right.
All right, so this is something you've probably seen in a lot of the shows. This is the spirit box. Now this spirit box is a little different. This spirit box, basically, when you have a spirit box, you basically say, okay, FM or AM, and it basically goes up and down the band, and it's seeking. But unlike when you're seeking your car and it stops, it's basically just continuously going through, and whatever bits of noise you hear, whatever bits of a sentence you hear, or if you're really lucky, a full sentence comes out. That is the theory is that the spirits are manipulating what's going through this energy. What's going through the spirit box, and it's basically putting together some sort of response to your questions. It's a little more responsive, a little more dynamic. But what's interesting about this spirit box is that instead of just going up the FM dial and up and down the AM dial, it actually works on both dials at the same time. So this model is just a little more sophisticated. And if you're ever interested in doing paranormal investigation, this thing comes with a learning curve. It's taken me a couple of weeks to try to figure it out.
So which version is it? 'Cause I can't figure
It's
out if
the
it's one I have.
I almost said Sonic Boom. It's the Spirit Box 11.
I think
Spirit
that's
Box
the one
11
I have.
ANC, yeah.
It has the temperature on it too.
Yep, that's the temperature and all that.
Yeah, super basic one.
Okay.
Battery dies really quickly on that, thank you.
Hopefully it's fine now. But let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead.
Well, we ran with what, temperature and the dual channel the entire night. So after 4 hours it was good.
And then go to So let's try this. So this is another way we're trying to communicate with you. Are you with us right now? Can you talk to us through this device? Whatever or what? Can you tell me how many people you see in this room? That did sound like it said, are you enjoying your visit? Yeah, you're right. Would you tell me your name? Would that be okay? Can you tell me your name? I'm feeling a slight breeze right through. Really interesting. I'm feeling a slight breeze here. Is that you? Oh, welcome. There's a possibility that we could be talking to Gladys. Is this Gladys we're talking to? We also know this is the birthing room, as Wynn told us. Are you one of the midwives here? All right, are you feeling a cold draft over here?
I am.
You are?
Hot.
You're feeling warm, but you're feeling that draft. Okay. I want to make sure I'm not the only one that's feeling it. It's really weird too because that's not on. Because I know what that sounds like when it's on, and there's no air coming out of that vent either.
Yeah, it feels like either generic old house draft but I can't tell where it's coming from. But I do feel cool air.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I was outside and there was no air moving.
Yeah,
when I was-
no wind tonight.
Yeah.
Forecast.
It's still, hasn't it? Okay, I'm gonna change the
One to
switch
2
here.
mile an hour winds tonight.
Yeah, we live in an old farmhouse.
Mhm. It is a very old farmhouse.
We feel a cold draft in here. Is this you talking to us? Are you trying to let us know that you're here?
I felt it overhead just
I feel
Say
it
that
showing
again,
up.
Mom?
now. I just felt some air over here.
Yeah, I just got cold.
All right, let me see something here.
I was like,
Now it's time to break out the gear. Now it's time to break out the gear again because I want to see if it's gotten. Because when I did my initial sweep, it was saying that it was 71. Oh, it said that it's 71 degrees, but it's also saying that it's 2.3, now 0.2, 0.1, 0.3. I just want to check. No, it's not picking up my camera here. Okay. 2.7, 2.4, 3.1. All right.
5. I just went to 5. You were at a turn towards us.
Let me just. The best way to see how this one is behaving though is to just put it in one spot, because sometimes when you jostle it, it will give you a false positive of some kind. So I'll turn this off. If I remember how. How do I turn this off? Oh, right here. Really,
It has a lot of buttons.
it has a lot of buttons and has no display whatsoever.
Yeah, and you got the different speeds and everything. driving.
Yeah.
You're trying to find it not too fast,
It's-
not too slow.
It's not the most user friendly, but I have actually caught some really interesting stuff on it, and I have wow, that breeze is really strong on me right now. Phil has done some Estes method, which we're gonna try, but the Estes method is where you blindfold yourself, you put on headphones, and Phil has done some Estes method that has knocked it out of the park, and so is my buddy Steve Saylor, who is legally blind. He's done some really interesting stuff. Now it's flatline. It's zero. It's zero all around me, and it's actually getting warmer, but I feel a cold breeze on me right now. Let's go back to basics. If this is you, can you go on ahead and return this sound to me? Just give us a sign that you're here. Everybody hear that?
Yes.
The first time that ever happened to me, it was at a place called Belgrove Plantation, and we caught it on tape and on stream, where Phil said, "Just give us any kind of sign," and we heard a very loud, like, step by our door, and of course, me being Dana Scully, I said, "Well, that could be the neighbors." It was 1 a.m. and my neighbors, no offense, Mom, were my mom's age. And I remember Phil's like, "It's a little late for the neighbors." I said, "Fair point."
It was the fact it was the same knock too.
Yeah. See, right now I'm feeling this breeze right on me, and I just want to make sure. Oh wait. It is the AC is on. It's just very quiet. It's on low. Yeah, okay. Debunked.
Okay.
Debunked. Not the knock, but and you know what? To me, that's half the fun, is trying to figure out what this is. Because when you can't figure it out, that's when it just defies all reason.
I like the thing that has the green light or the red light.
Oh, you mean Charlie Brown?
Yeah, I like watching that and hoping that it will answer.
It's very comforting. It's very comforting. I will say that.
That and it's very black and white. Like the spirit box, you're like, did I hear something? Did I not hear something?
Right.
Yeah, I need proof.
And that's the hard and that is the hardest part. That is the hardest part. Is trying to. One of the things I said during the opening Q&A when we were giving our presentation was Phil said, go with low expectations because you're gonna have nights where you don't have things happen. And I said to Phil, name me that time, Phil. And he just chuckled because we've been very fortunate. We have walked away with at least one. That was another of my biggest problem with 28 Days Haunting. They went 28 days and did not pick one EVP. Phil and I can go 28 minutes and maybe will not get away with an EVP, but 28 days, I call shenanigans. So it's okay. I think we're going to try a different location, but welcome to your room.
See, it's not that haunted.
I wouldn't sleep in here by myself.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm sleeping. We'll figure it out. No. My favorite room is more terrible.
Well, it seems nice.
Yeah, it is her.
You hear somebody saying, "You push in the middle of the night." I'm not pregnant.
Right?
Okay, so
What
we are.
about your camera, T?
Huh?
Your camera.
Oh, my camera. Whoops. I almost left stream in here. I almost left stream in here. Okay.
Where are we going now?
Oh, so.
I think it's from downstairs to the music box, but wait, what's Dad's not Dad's Phil's music box thing called again?
It's just a music box with a sensor on it.
Yeah.
Did it go off? Everyone want to come in here and find a place on the comfy sofa. All right. I'm gonna set stream over here for just a moment. I saw you in stream, Marv. Hey, how are you? Good to see you in stream, buddy. All right.
I just came to tell you that Mom, Tina, and Nick went into the basement, and also I was standing in the doorway of the library,
Yeah.
and I smelled this like weird cologne smell, and then the K2 that Tina was holding went up to yellow.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Don't go in the basement.
That's
You just gave me an idea.
When I went, it was daytime.
Oh,
It also has a pretty musty smell, so.
It's the only reason that I wasn't planning on taking anybody down to the basement was mainly because if you want to sit over here, you're more than welcome to.
Is that where the lurker is supposed to be?
The lurker is supposed to be down the hallway in this room. Yeah.
Oh, she's
Is that where you're staying?
No, I was just like I saw a meter in there, and
Yeah. So
now I'm curious to see that, so I'm staying over here.
that's fine. So then, okay. Well, then if you want to go on ahead and keep that going, we can
Cut
do
that
it.
light on.
I'll get there.
That
I'll
was
get there.
me with the door.
So, okay, so what you see back there, just if you're curious, is that there is a device back there that's on the bed, and that is called the Eddy Plus. It is recording any and all changes. We might actually hear it beep. But one of the things I wanted to try to do.
I was like, do I need to move out of it?
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Because I've got a recorder going on in there as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on ahead and not the first thing we do.
The
Do you need me
ceiling.
to, because I noticed your phone battery is low. Do you need me to get a battery or anything?
There's a small gold battery pack and a Thunderbolt cable. No, I have the Thunderbolt cable. I just need the small battery pack. So
Okay, where's the...
it's in the big black bag behind the bar.
Okay.
So let me.
I think the ceiling is cool.
I saw that. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh. Magic 8 Ball?
Is this place haunted?
What do you have?
She has a magic 8 ball over there.
Ask me later.
There's another room back here that I'd also like to give a try to, because that was the one where my wife was asleep back there, and when she woke up the next morning, her feet were under the covers, but one of her socks was missing, and it was actually on top of the blankets. Don't know how that happened. But I've put a motion sensor. There are 2 motion sensors back there, so if they detect motion, they'll go off. They're on the far end of the room.
Okay.
And then there's the REM pod right there. I just put the REM pod in the doorway.
We got multiple things that could.
I got multiple things that could set it off in the other room. Now they're saying that this room has not really been super active, but every time I come here, I feel like there is something going on in this room. Now, I've got plenty of stuff in the other room where the lurker's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And maybe while we're out here, something will set off.
Well, and I'm excited too. I think that one of the main reasons no one reports anything, because if you think about the structure of the house, this is part of the original 1852 build. So this was someone's bedroom, but no one really sleeps in here because it's only an overflow bedroom. So people just don't spend the night in this room. There's no experiences to tell. So I don't know.
So we're about to find out. Okay, now before we jump into this part of it, I do need to do a battery swap, because that one's almost out.
Is that a rhinoceros?
It is
Which one?
not a real rhinoceros.
Which one? What?
The rhino.
Oh, the rhino. Yeah, I don't think any of the. That's a very tiny rhinoceros. If that is a rhinoceros, yeah.
It's not.
It's made of wood.
It looks so real. It's impressive.
Okay.
That's a cool thing.
So, did any of you have any questions for me while I'm getting set up? Anybody?
You said you're the last team to investigate the TWA site.
Mhm.
Why? Is it gone?
No, they built houses on it.
Oh,
They've gone full poltergeist. They've got houses because see, but the state of Virginia does not in any way, shape, or form require that you say, "Hey, on this land, this happened." So yeah, we when we were there, they were in the process of building a house there.
I got you the big battery.
Oh, I didn't need the big battery. Okay, you know
I
what?
couldn't find the other one.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll if I need to switch it, it's for this. This will work. This will
Okay.
work. It's
The Old Spirits one that you did about TWA
Mhm.
is very interesting.
It's also terrifying.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
It really is.
I don't mind saying it because the what had happened was, we went back to the site at night, and the site at night was an entirely different experience.
And this is the TV ward.
No. This is so TWA flight 514, and I'll tell the story before we go lights out here. TWA flight 514 was a flight that had been diverted from Washington National Airport to, at this time, the relatively new airport of Dulles International. This is 1971, if I remember correctly. It was post-Thanksgiving, so there were a lot of families on this flight. And the lexicon of the day between air traffic control and the actual flight itself wasn't really thought out properly. And they were told you are clear for a ceiling of 1,300 feet. The way they gave they were clear for 1,300 feet, which means that the plane descended to 1,300 feet. And and they thought they were on final approach. And at full speed, roughly 300 miles per hour, they hit Mount Weather, which has an elevation of 1,800 feet. It was instant. It was 92 lives snuffed out. And when you go to when you went there, it was basically all forest except for this one, for the lack of a better term, a fairy circle. It was a perfect circle, but there was this tree. There was this trunk of a tree about the size of the one that you see in the front yard, and its top is just sheared off, and it's pitted and it's burnt, and you're just like, that's where the jet fuel hit.
There's there's an image of that on the episode
Yeah.
that they did.
And when we were there during the day, this thing was going up, not this version, but Simon downstairs was going off left and right. It was just firing off. But in retrospect, and this is what I mean by the scary stuff you always catch at the end, or after you get home. I was going through the evidence, and one of the things that I found was me going up to the flux and saying, "Is it okay if we came back? Green for yes, red for red." I didn't even finish the question, and it just went red. And as I'm saying, I want to ask it one more time, I heard it beep red again. It just kept going red, 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 no, no. And being the wide-eyed, brand new paranormal investigator with my buddy Phil, we went back at night. We were there for 15 minutes. It felt like I had been there 45. I have never felt fear like that. And what had happened was, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. What happened was we set everything up. We were really pumped up. Everything was, I just could feel the adrenaline. Everything was great. Phil asks the first question, is there anything that wants to communicate with us here tonight?
No.
And this just kept blinking blue again and again and again. And I don't know what it was. Phil asked the question, and immediately every fiber of my body was like, we are not welcome here. And the stuff that I found EVP-wise was terrifying. And not terrifying in a I'm trying to think of a good example. Not terrifying in a Saw sort of way, or an Eli Roth film or something like that. I'm talking about the kind of terrifying, like, American Horror Story. It's just that building of, things are going to go south at any moment and you just want it to happen. It was that kind of terrifying. And when you see when you see the stories, my mom said, when you see the story on our YouTube channel, you get the difference of the way it was during the day and the way it was at night. But yeah, they've built houses on it now. And I cannot imagine, and what was even worse, but the worst thing about this whole thing was there was a memorial at that site. There's a very signature jet of rock, and they had a memorial there. Well, it was gone. Every video after 2016, it was just not there. And I was worried they had pitched it. My wife is a research librarian, so she just kept digging. She found it. It's actually it's in Kansas City, Missouri at the TWA Museum. They have a section of downed flights, and they have all these rescued memorials that were either being unattended or not taken care of properly, and they have it.
Kansas City's in Missouri.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in Kansas. In Kansas.
Okay. It's
It
on
is-
the border.
It's actually so big.
Okay.
It's actually so big that
I'm
part of
really
it's on
freaked out.
Missouri and part of yeah. So
Oh,
look, you
you
learned
should-
something new. You learned something new tonight.
Oh, Dad! Don't forget to tell them what's going on with the site right now.
I already did.
Oh, you did with the house?
Yes.
Yeah, well, Kansas.
Okay.
Turn down the lights.
I think it's been so fascinating. Like when we
Would you mind turning this
it
light
was
off?
going crazy. Like the numbers were going up and down,
Oh,
up and down, and up and
really?
down. Yeah, they were going up and down.
Are you
and
talking?
down.
Are you talking about the temperature?
They have been solid since we started sitting down and talking. But before, they were like flickering, and the yellow light went on once.
So the yellow light. So the yellow light means the yellow light in that device in the other room means that you're dealing with a change in either humidity or change in pressure, and that usually that's one of the traits. Now what we're listening for is we're either listening for the REM pod to go off, or we're listening for a beep
It's also part of the Twin Cities.
from.
That's why they call it twins.
It was interesting because the numbers were going up and down, up and down, up and down. The light went yellow, and now it's been
Steady.
the same steady number with nothing else since then.
That's very interesting.
Interesting.
Now what? Now.
There is a recorder in there, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, there's something filming in there right now as we speak.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, and someone's actually. Someone from Stream has captured one of the clips. So I'm not. Hopefully that means they heard something, because that's the other thing too. When you're investigating. That's the REM pod.
That's something from downstairs.
No, it's the REM pod.
Sounds like. Wait, in the bedroom?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not the hallway. It would have to
That's
be
me.
a motion
That's
detector.
me.
Yeah, it would have to be a motion detector because
I
this
heard
is
a high
not on.
pitch from back there.
Neither of these two have.
Oh, I just got chills. Was that you out there? You want to make the REM pod go off again, please? Oh, you're so sneaky. Now that's a bad habit. You should never whisper on a paranormal investigation, because when you whisper, somebody might think you're an EVP. So
That's what I thought for a second.
yeah.
Completely honest. I was like, did you hear that? It's him.
You're not gonna make the REM pod go off while I'm watching?
I don't like you.
Now, mumbling, Mom, doesn't help. Mumbling is just as bad. Am I gonna have to ask you to leave, woman? Old woman, come on, Mom.
They talk to her.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. Okay, so that was me. You get that a lot too. That was me. Doesn't the back of your shirt The back of my shirt says pick one. That was me. That wasn't me. We're gonna start up a merch place soon, but right now we're.
Why does it stay in red?
Because it stays that way for several seconds and then it resets to green. So oh wow, it looks really cool in the video too. Yeah, probably one of the funniest stories concerning That Was Me. No spoilers from you, kiddo. Was when
Oh yeah, I heard that.
It
I'd had some rich food right before the investigation.
Oh.
And so I, as dads do, just let out a very silent movement of gas. And I thought I got away with it until Phil's daughters and my daughter Sunny come through the door. And Bren turns to Piper and goes, "Do you smell that? They say that when demons are close, you smell sulfur in the air." And my kid shot me a look of like, "That was you, wasn't it, Dad?" And it was one of those own it looks, you know, like she was angry that I was letting Bren and Piper go complete conjuring on them, you know. And I finally said, "No, ladies, that was me." And the girls went, "Ah," and of course my kid is just like, you can't see it, but she's just shaking her head like.
I think I laughed.
You probably did. You probably did. All right. Look, if there are duplicate moments caught in chat, don't worry about it. That just gives me more to work with. But we were here in the REM pod out there, and the idea is I have an infrared camera in there, and I'm just trying to see if I capture any kind of movement in the darkness. But if I can also capture any audio in there, if I capture anything with... I also have this recorder that's been running since... And you have a recorder that runs all night. And I learned a very valuable lesson about the value of having a recorder that just goes all night no matter what is happening around you. Because... in our last show for season 1, we went to a place called Tuckahoe, and this particular recorder I had left recording by accident. So it's just capturing people walking in, coming out, and all the nightlife. And it was about 2.5 hours of audio, and I said, well, I guess I'm gonna have to listen to it. So I was listening to it, and I heard myself come in and out for stuff. And we're having a conversation, and then in the distance, there was a scream. And it's the only way I can describe it. It was a full-on scream, and it didn't sound like someone in pain scream. It sounded like is it that going off, or is it the one downstairs?
No, it's either downstairs or if there's something inside.
No, if it was going off, you'd see it. That's downstairs.
Yeah,
that's
it wasn't
downstairs.
these two.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the red room, is there?
No. I totally left. I totally left it. So anyway, so the scream that I heard, we were on land that once was part of the Monacan territory, and it sounded like that kind of scream, like a battle scream. And the thing is, as this scream happens, it was the only spot in this 2.5 hour period of audio that we heard that. And the second thing is we're still talking like nothing's going on. Like nothing's going on. And I know if I had heard that scream in real time, I would have stopped and said, did anybody else hear that? So yeah. Again, there's a lot of value in just having one dedicated device that just records everything, but you still have to go through it. So is there anyone in this room with us right now? If you are here, can you give us a sign of any kind? You can come up to this device like you saw and make the lights change colors. Or if you're in the other room, you can give us a sign by coming up to the device that's in the doorway. It won't hurt you. Again, we have not come here to make you perform parlor tricks for us. We're trying to communicate with you. We're trying to set up a connection with you. We want to know if you're here with us right now, or if you're in the other room watching us, as the stories tend to lend themselves to. The flashing I see in the other room, that's the Yeti.
That's the Yeti.
Yeah, that's the Yeti. That's the Yeti. Oh.
Oh.
Now you heard that beep, right?
Yep.
That means that something changed in the other room.
I I can't read what's on it.
Oh, don't worry about it. I always read it afterwards.
It's like 686, between 686 and
Hello.
689. I've been like laser focused. I'm listening to everything.
Do you remember what the numbers were? That's the temperature, by the way. Did you happen to see what the numbers were when you walked in?
They were going up and down like.
Oh, really? Going up and down?
It was changing. I couldn't see what they were clearly doing, but it was changing so quickly I couldn't see what it was.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw it moving too. I assumed it was because we were all coming through the door.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was like if that was normal.
Well, that was
or-
green. That was green.
Yeah. So I didn't think anything of it until it stopped doing that.
And I think it was at 5 something when we went in there to put our stuff away.
Is that
when we arrived?
is that you from the other? Is that you from the other side of the room? Is that you from the other room? If that was you, making the temperature go up and down, can you make the green light go off again? But if you're new to this group, we'll introduce ourselves if that would help. If you're new to this group, make the red light go off. As you can see, this device won't hurt you. You don't even have to get near it. Sorry, you don't even have to touch it. You just have to get near it. And it will react to you.
I want the yellow light again.
That's definitely a change in humidity. That's definitely humidity.
And something I just shared with the other group is something that guests have found out is that it's not always about saying, tell us your name, are you in the room,
Right.
do this device. The spirits here, like they overlap. Have you seen the show Ghosts? It's out right now, which is quite funny.
It's you should talk to Pip.
Yeah.
She is a huge fan of ghosts.
Well, I feel like it's very similar, that the ghosts here are very, they're in touch with the people who come. And so if there's some crazy job that you have or a project, like last time they were talking about writing projects, and it wasn't until then when they were having their breakfast on the way out that the gear started going crazy because they were talking about the things in their lives, not just like, tell us about, 1774. What was happening back then? Probably horses and hay, and that's about it.
Oh yeah.
So,
Did they have horses here at some point?
yeah. So there's still 2, actually. There's
Yeah,
one
there's
very
one down by
they're gorgeous horses.
by
too.
the slave quarters.
Yeah.
Bet you want to talk about horses?
And that's where the cemetery is over on the horse farm property. And
That's fun.
that is
Oh.
either the best ghost manifestation.
So there's a great story about Phil's harmonica. We were at Gettysburg, and my buddy Blind Gamer, he goes by on Twitch. He goes by Blind Gamer Steve, but it's a buddy of mine named Steve Saylor. If you keep up with video game news or anything like that, you might remember there was this blind video game player who posted his visceral reaction to The Last of Us Part 2 as to how accessible it was, how it had all these features that could help people that were either blind or deaf or were missing a limb, and they all wanted to play video games. And Steve just broke down crying. Well, he went viral with that. But Steve and I have been friends for well on 15 years, and I said, Steve, you want to go on a ghost hunt? He was like, really, like an actual ghost hunt? And we took him to Gettysburg, and we took him to the basement of the Jenny Wade house. And piggybacking off this story about the harmonica, Phil started playing the harmonica, and he's listening to the spirit box. So Steve doesn't hear anything outside of the spirit box. And he suddenly says, chords. And Phil plays a few more chords. Steve responds with, that's good. And then Phil pauses for a moment, and Steve, still listening to the spirit box, goes, keep playing. And I'm just like, man, everyone has a good session over the Estes method. I still haven't had that. But yeah, it's amazing. It's a good one. All right. If you're interested in my writing projects, I'll tell you this. Phil and I are actually working on a short story collection. Phil and I we're both writers, and we are working together on we thought it was going to be done by Halloween. Life happened. It's not happening. Maybe by December. But it's a collection of short stories based on inspired by some of the stuff that we've experienced in this year and a half as paranormal investigators. We're going to call it Inspired by True Events.
Just a thought, maybe you could put it like when you're starting the new season, maybe in February.
Yeah, I could do that. I just want to see if we get any kind of reaction from that. No? All right. So one of the things about the Eddie in the other room is that it records the data, and I can then pull that data and look at it when I get home. So it'll show me. Was that you guys?
Yeah.
Is somebody moving over there?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When you say data, what do you mean? The
It-
temperature?
It'll show me changes in pressure. It will show me changes in temperature. It'll show me if there were any EMF hits in the other room. That box on the bed is an EMF reader, but it also measures temperature, pressure, humidity changes, and it also measures, it's a geophone in that it measures any vibrations. So if anything touches the bed, the geophone will go off.
Is that a bedroom back there?
That is the
Yeah.
bedroom, yeah.
Is somebody sleeping back there tonight?
Oh.
Okay.
So,
Ask them how they feel about that.
well, I was going to say this. Before we wrap up, we wrap up and leave. There's this. You're going to see this glowing skull downstairs near the guest book. It's called. His name is Stanley.
It's not currently not by there. It's in the library.
Oh, it's in the library? Okay, so it's in the library. So Stanley's in the library. If you go in the library, you'll see Stanley there, and he'll be putting out this little mist. That mist is been put together by Tina of our group, and it's got all kinds of cleansing and protection herbs. That's all in that mix. And again, it all goes into, do you think this would help or not? If you think it's going to help you, then put your hand over it, get it in your hair, just go on ahead and purify yourself. I'm born and bred Christian, but at the end of every investigation, I have somebody go over me, and they're going to do this with you too, Mom. They're going to go over me with some Palo Alto wood, and we also sometimes will sage ourselves. Every little precaution you can take. Now, if you're a dyed-in-the-wool skeptic and you don't believe in that, then that's up to you. But it never hurts to have that kind of protection. It never hurts. Still nothing. Okay. Mom, I'm relying on you as my timekeeper. Do you have an idea of what time?
It's currently 9:05.
9:05? Okay, so we got about 20 minutes. So these last 20 minutes, could you turn that light on again? One more time? Okay. There's one more spot that I'd like to go.
What is that right there that's lit
That's the
up?
recorder. It's an audio recorder. And that has been going since we got here. So and when I mean since we got here, I mean since we got here, not since they've been here. So it's been going for at least before we started the investigation.
Almost.
Five.
It's a good thing I didn't touch it. I thought it was like a duster.
It is very fluffy.
Yes.
Just
Okay.
clean that off.
This is the last room we're going to go into, and we're going to spend the last. Did you make a timer for like 20 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah, great.
Alright, time for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. There we go.
That way.
I thought it was just normal for the numbers to be changing rapidly. Yeah, but they have not.
Do you want me to start the timer now?
After we get settled in here.
Okay.
You gotta love a place like that's got an actual bearskin rug right here. But yeah, this room's got some personality to it, to say the least. It's got some personality here. Okay. So,
I just found my sock.
are you serious?
I
So when we came in here,
Right.
Wayne kind of quickly showed us around, and I put my bag in there,
Right.
and I just found my sock right here. And I feel, this is like 1,000% my sock. And I
You'll be
feel
able to
like I would have noticed, well, I can look and see.
You can always check. Yeah, go ahead and check. Oh, then come on in. Everybody just come on in here.
Isn't that someone
Yeah, if you just stare at the numbers, you go right
White
ahead.
sock was on top of the bed or something?
I'll get to that story again in just a second, but everybody get in that room there.
What was she saying?
Her sock is out of her bag, and it wasn't out of
It
her
could
bag.
have, it definitely could have fallen out by itself, and that's really weird.
But don't you think you'd have seen it laying there?
That's the thing, like, and I don't know,
Let me go for
cause I just kinda like walked in there, and then I walked in here and decided to put my purse in here.
Oh, it's an actual bear skin.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Has anyone seen it?
What was that? The
Oh,
trigger.
go ahead. Well, there's a chair there. There's a stool there. Actually, I'll sit on the stool. I'll sit on the stool.
So, myth confirmed. Was that your sock? It was your sock.
Yeah.
Somehow it got out of your suitcase.
Well, it was in my purse, yeah, yeah. So
I'm
either,
gonna have to introduce you to my wife, and you're gonna have to share that story with her, because the story of my wife was that she was sleeping.
Got a foot fetish.
She was sleeping.
yeah.
That's our thought too, because
Was that in this house too?
my wife was asleep in this bed. She was underneath the
bed.
covers, and when she woke up the next morning, her foot was missing a sock,
Yeah.
but her sock was right here, like on the
And
on
she
the
was
surface.
sleeping under the covers.
She was sleeping under the covers.
Do
She
you
was in fact
There could be
sleeping
a
under the covers.
spirit that.
has a foot fetish?
That could have a foot fetish. Yes.
You want me to start the
Or it's a ghost dog, and
Go on ahead.
still
Yeah,
saying-
Go on ahead and start the timer.
When he starts taking the underwear then too, we know that's for sure.
That's a different story altogether.
Definitely.
That's a different story.
That is definitely a dog.
It's definitely good. Well,
Okay. So let's see that, and then
Can you reach that thing?
that. Oh, let's not go lights out just
oh,
yet.
I was
So,
like, I see.
so
Let's
turn
turn
that
that
up.
back on.
Turn that back on for just a second, because I gotta navigate around here. Okay. So
I like your shoes.
So let's see. So, really, this is not really what I would call paranormal, but this was something that I remember my wife and Tina got a huge kick out of. We walk into this room, and Tina looks in the closet there, and she saw this Colombian art. Tina's Colombian. And there was this exclusive art that was in there. She's like, yeah, this is this artist. And she just rattled off all these things about where, about that particular artist. And then we come deeper in this room, and Pip looks up and goes, are you kidding me? That right up there is a photograph of Sir Edmund Hillary. He was a New Zealand mountaineer, and he was the first man to scale Everest.
Oh, wow.
And the fact that
She's from New Zealand.
she's from New Zealand, and she herself is from New Zealand as well. So that was just sort of one of those kind of moments that happened in this room. So
Coincidence.
it's what we call compelling. That's our
Spooky.
okay. So we're gonna try something here a little different before I bring out Charlie Brown. We're gonna do an Estes method. And Sonny, do you feel comfortable asking me the questions? No, you don't.
Oh, asking you the questions?
Asking me the questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
What questions do you want me to ask?
Well, hun, the whole idea is
That's
that you
true.
ask me the questions, and then we see where it goes.
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable, I can ask one of our guests.
I feel like it would be better
Alright.
if the guests do it, because, you know.
So let me ask this: who has seen an Estes method before? You have.
All of the.
And- That's it.
I don't know what it is.
Okay. Well, I'll explain. The Estes method is where you basically you set up the spirit box, and you have it going, but nobody hears it but the person that is either blindfolded and has on headphones, which would be me. And
I can tap you out.
yeah, please, you can, yeah.
Okay. Do you want me
And
to tap on the knee, or?
yeah, tap on the knee, please. And the idea is that I don't hear any of the questions. I don't hear any of the questions. I don't hear any of the intonation behind the questions. I'm just basically repeating what I hear in the spirit box. Okay? And it's a bit like the isolation tank, but with a lot less water. Okay.
Some people call it like a sensory deprivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Estes Smith is the
Estes is the guy who created it.
creator, yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who created it, and it has yielded, again, as we like to say, compelling results.
That was the wait. You already explained that was the method that Steve is using, right? With them
Yes.
on it? Yeah.
Yes, got that covered.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I just my brain just went
That's all right.
/roof with that.
That's all
I
right.
typically do it all in the same room because I've seen people where they'll put somebody in a
They
room
do
with
it.
a walkie-talkie
Which
and they'll
I
ask
think
them how
Which-
their sides. And it's
So-
kind of weird.
So let's talk about
what's
that
the difference?
before we go lights out.
Yeah.
The thing about that is that makes for great theater.
Yeah,
It
it always
makes for
just felt
fantastic
overly
theater.
dramatic, and then you can cut and clip things the way you want to. And
If you want to see dramatic, you should watch the Crescent episode. I believe it's part 2. Yeah, it's part 2? Yeah, it's part 2.
Yeah, because part 1 was the history. And
No, part 1 was history, but it was also it was cell block D, and it was also solitary confinement. Part 2, we went into the hospice, and that was where we did the method with Phil under. We didn't have to do it from another room. We didn't have to do it with any multiple cuts. The answers were coming, and after 5 questions, I was like, maybe I should pull him out, but he pulled himself out. He just said, I knew it was ready to be done. So, and I've only done that once myself when I got noise that I could not recognize. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go on ahead, and do you feel comfortable asking me some questions? Great. I've never done this with someone who hasn't been with OSI, so this will be fun.
she's adjacent.
Do you?
I'll be gentle.
Don't trust her on that one.
Old Spirits Investigations, that's what we are.
Yeah,
So,
that's him and Phil.
all I can say is this,
If time, I have the timer going, and you have 14
Yeah.
minutes. I don't think
Okay.
we'll be going for 14 minutes, and that's
well, it depends.
And that's
It
fine.
depends.
But if
It
it
depends on
does,
how well it goes.
yeah, if it
Depends on how well it goes.
yeah. And if anyone else thinks that we should pull them out, then please say something. So I will tap them out.
Wrong button. Where is it?
That's the wrong button.
I feel
Oh,
better
thank you.
now.
No,
I remember me struggling at the state penitentiary.
there it is, this way. The biggest thing about this device is I wish it just had some kind of like
Memory
readout.
thing?
Like a
Or-
readout.
oh, a readout.
Just a readout would be nice. Okay, so I will be ready when I put down the blindfold and everything. Feel free to turn the light off, and we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Hopefully that's not too loud for you.
Is there anyone here that would like to talk to us?
Out.
Are you the one that steals socks and then returns them? Or you just borrow the socks?
Short.
How many people are in here with us?
Go.
Are you a man?
I don't give a Care. No.
Are you a woman? How long have you been here? Do you watch over this place?
Problem.
Do you fix problems?
I'm here.
Are you the caretaker who we see next door?
Are you WWW?
When you scared the.
Is women, whiskey, or wine sound?
Young. Tab.
We try to do a toast for you, Dad.
Lights out.
We try, yeah, the lights are out, but would you like a drink?
So?
I was gonna offer everyone some wine, is what we had downstairs. Did you have any of that? We poured you a glass.
Wedding.
Yes, you know about the wedding last weekend. Did you approve of it?
Stop it right now.
Do you want us to stop talking?
Do you think I should check around?
I'm dying to do this.
No, not
Yeah.
yet.
No.
Okay.
Do you prefer talking to men?
Where do we go?
You saw the wedding? Lauren and Terry?
Jazz.
There was music, yes. Did you see the dancing downstairs below? Do you have a message for anyone?
Okay, turn the lights on. Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on. Oh. Ah. Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
I was wondering if that was you.
responded to you.
Yeah.
I know.
Did it?
Oh,
Did it?
yes.
Yeah.
He
It
really
wasn't
responded
until-
to
I'm gonna
you.
go get his wine now. That's
Really?
yeah.
Was it a
No.
her?
Yeah, when Lynn started asking you questions,
It was
really
bam, bam,
responded.
bam.
Well, the funny thing is that.
Accurately.
Really? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait
You were
to
talking
see
about the
what I
wedding
can't
last
wait to
week.
see what we caught you. What was that?
It's like you guys were talking about the wedding last week.
Is that why I said wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was like when I said wedding, I'm like, is Wynn here?
And jazz.
And if anyone would like to try this, but you're a ringer, so I don't know if I trust you. But if anyone who has never tried this would you like to try it? Okay.
And quick show of hands, like I'm gonna pour a shot for the ghost. Does anyone want some red wine? Just a little. 1, 2, 3.
I'm driving, so I'm
I'm underage.
Just a little bit.
What?
What kind of red wine?
I think it's Malbec, but I'm
What
not 100%.
year is it?
It's
I like
fine. 19.
I'll have some.
Okay, so 3
By
and a ghost.
2021.
Right. Just right. Just a
Okay.
very
So how much time do we have left on the timer?
We have 8 minutes.
8 minutes? Okay, good.
Yeah, and if anybody needs to do like a bathroom, I think they're gonna do a session in the basement real quick, and then you guys are
Got it.
rotating or however.
Yeah.
Alright,
I
I'm
like the
ready.
beginning
Wow.
stuff. I was like, out? Like,
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
you not want us
out.
here?
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to
Yeah.
ask the question
Stop,
of like, do you want
See,
us out of here?
Yeah,
You're
this is the fascinating thing about the Estes method is, how much of it is happenstance and how much of it is for real.
And you honestly don't hear a thing.
I can hear some mumbling, and it's tough for me to. But actually, when it comes to what you hear, I'm gonna have a specific question for you after you try it. So let me just see. First off,
As loud as it was, because I could hear the channels.
Yeah, it's
So,
pretty loud.
let's see. So first off, I just want to see if it is too loud. I can always take it down, but I've muted it right now. So put these on. Oh, wait, put this on first.
I feel like it was a woman because she wanted to talk to a guy about like the
See, I thought it was a
You
man.
thought it was a man? Okay.
I felt like a man to
Do I?
me because
Yeah.
men
Yeah.
don't
Now it's
talk.
on.
Men especially
Got it.
would
Yeah,
not
Alright, so
speak.
put these
the
on.
way
Put
it
this
is,
one
yeah.
down.
And then talk
Before
to
you
him
put
about
that
party.
down, yeah, put these
I thought
on.
you said, is it a,
So I can make
are
sure
you a
that
man?
the volume isn't
I
too
would,
much.
yeah.
I
So
forgot what
what
it
made
said,
you
back and forth.
say turn the lights on in case something
Yeah.
similar
I'll
were to
I'll
happen
explain in a
to her?
second. I'll
Okay.
explain in a second.
Yeah, because I thought we were gonna do 14 minutes or something.
Is that too loud? Is that good? Okay, good. Well then, let's go. So I'm going ahead and put the blindfold down.
Don't tap me out.
And I'll be the one to tap you out. But
Dang.
let's go on ahead and let's
Yeah,
Hold on.
see. There we go. So this will be fun because we've never done this before with someone just visiting. So let's go. All right. So lights out, please.
Just switch to.
Oh, I can get that, Mom. I can get that. Okay. All right. Good evening. Is there anything you would like to tell us right now? Would you like to tell us your name?
Lots of high pitched squeaking.
Okay, tap her out. Actually, yeah, let me stop there. So that high-pitched squeaking,
Yeah.
I don't know where that's coming from.
It's like a bat.
It is. It's a real high-pitched squeaking.
I could hear it from here.
I know.
Yeah.
The first time I heard that was at Crescent SCI, but before then I have done several. Before I took it to Crescent, I never heard that sound, and now this is the second time I've heard it. So I was curious if you were going to hear it, but I could hear it as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you hear any kind of, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try speeding up the rate just a little bit. But if you hear any words, any parts of words, just go on ahead and just, oops, oh, hang on.
Do you need a light?
Nope, I got it.
Okay.
There we go. So this is take 2.
Okay.
All right, ready? All right, let's try it again. Can you?
It's not running.
Oh, it's not running? Hold on. Yeah, you're right. It's not running. Because.
That's me shifting on the stool because the steam.
Now it should be it. Okay. Here we go.
It's not running.
It's still not running?
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Oh, because I muted it. Telling you this thing is just terrible. I love it, but
I feel so much better that I'm
You
not
should.
just an idiot.
There you go. Can you tell me your name, please? What year is it for you?
Mom.
Were you a mother here?
Here.
Did you give birth in this house? If we offended you, we're sorry. Did your baby die here? Is there anything I can do to help you? How many children did you have? You said, Mom, were you a midwife? Did you help with the births?
I brought the wine.
Would you like a glass of wine?
There it is. This one's special for you. And who did raise your hand for the wine? Okay. Okay, I see.
What year is it for you? how many people do you see in this room right now? Is there anyone you recognize? Are you done speaking with us?
Did you want to talk any more about the wedding? What about the guests that are staying tonight, overnight?
Just an FYI, I have 1 minute left on the
Alright.
timer.
Go ahead and tap her out. Let's tap her out. So I heard the squealing. I heard the squealing, but you started off with nothing after that.
Not even like, you
Still
know,
his mind.
a little bit of a radio snippet.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
The funny thing though is that you came out of the box strong. You actually
I clicked the mute button on the side.
yeah.
Not touch that.
It was interesting because you basically identified yourself as a mom.
Yeah, I heard that, and then I heard.
And then I heard the squelching sound.
Yeah.
And
And then after that, I didn't really talk.
it was wild too because I remember saying,
Did your baby die here?
I said, did your baby die here? And then just flat.
Yes.
But right before that, while the squelching was happening, I said, I'm sorry if we offended you. It stopped. So, but what is that? Is that coincidence? Is it paranormal? Who knows?
So you heard the squelching at other places, you said?
Really?
No, I'm asking you. Like
Squealing at
the
Crescent.
squelching. Yeah, the squelching I heard at Crescent.
Because I have one of those, right?
Oh, okay.
But I've never heard anything like that. Like.
Okay.
So I was just.
I feel
wondering
validated.
If it
Yeah.
was a machine.
What's Crescent?
Or if
It's
it
like
was
mine did not do that.
So
That
Crescent
specific.
was the
loud
the
too.
TB ward.
Oh,
That was the
that was the place.
That was the place, yeah. And the thing is that you can actually go to Crescent right now. You can go to Crescent right now, and you can take either a daytime or a nighttime tour. Now, here's the thing I tell people about the nighttime tour.
Your timer's so friendly.
The nighttime tour is awesome. I think I paid I think Phil and I paid $125 for a 12-hour lock-in. But here's my thing about that. You need to go in ready to, just ready for anything. Because there was another group that was there. And this was their very first outing as a paranormal team. They were just like, we're going to go on a paranormal investigation. So they went to the 12-hour lock-in at the asylum prison TB ward. And apparently they made it 4 of the 12 hours because on hour 4, they felt this happened to them in the hospice. And
What, someone pull their hair?
yeah. And
Why did you want them to take, when you said take it off?
we only had 1 minute left, and also because
No, when you took it off.
You were
your-
like,
turned off.
it was
I was just getting a vibe that we were done. There was something about it that just made me go, we're done. We're done.
You really reacted to win. I mean, unbelievable.
I can't wait I can't wait to see the footage. I can't wait. But because even Phil didn't know what had happened in his thing, and I mean, to give you an idea of how intense that was because we were in the hospice when we did the Estes method, and it was like midnight, and I remember I said, "Tell me your name." His first response was Ainsley. I said, "Are you sick?" He said, "Horror." And then we got a hit on the on Simon. So I reached in and I tapped him. I've never seen Phil jump like that. I mean, he jumped and I'm filming him while it was straight Blair Witch. I mean, he jumps. I stumbled back. I mean, I was expecting to see the guy in the corner. I mean, that's how bad it was. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, you get a vibe, you get a feel for when you're done. And the other thing too, and it was one of the things that really triggered me about the reason, one of the many reasons that I was really triggered by 28 Days Haunted, was there was a scene where these two dudes want their medium, a female, they wanted her to do this technique that she didn't want to do. And she said, I'm not doing it. And they were like, well, you're not being part of the team. And she actually called them out for being, for this bro-tastic feeling that they had about having to, yeah, let's go, we're gonna do this thing. She said, you need to respect the fact that I don't want to do this. And then they had a secret meeting, the two of them, and then they did a sit down with the whole team, and they literally bro-splained to her exactly why she had to do it. And she said she wasn't going to do it. And he goes, well, then can we compromise? And you watch them literally coerce her into doing something that she was okay with. And I'm watching this going, oh, this is so bad. And I'm a guy. I'm a white cis male. And I'm watching this and I was uncomfortable. TikTok is currently melting down on paranormal TikTok over that scene. And I mean, Phil and I have said this before, whenever you feel unsafe, because it was Phil who pulled himself out of the Estes method at the hospice. Anytime you feel you're in danger, whether it's an Estes method or whether you're at a crash site of a plane at night, and you just feel like it's time for us to go, you go. You just go. You don't wait for the red light to go off. You don't wait for the spirit box to say, get out. You don't wait. You go. And that's one of the things that I like about Linville is that it's just nice, and it's a very positive place, and a lot of it is Wynn. I really think Wynn attracts a lot of positive energy around him, and I really believe that Wynn is several times around Wynn. There's this app that my wife uses, and it's a very good app because I've used it too. It's called GhostTube.
Yeah.
And it's designed by paranormal investigators.
Yeah.
And it's very trustworthy. I highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
And several times whenever Wynn was talking, it would go off. Its voice box would go off and it would say guide. Whenever Wynn was talking, you'd hear the word, it would say guide. And I thought that was really cool. But before I ramble on anymore, did anybody have any questions for me before we break and head downstairs? Because now we're gonna do the downstairs. Did anybody have any questions for me? No? Thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you for letting me do
I hope you enjoyed that.
I did.
We're gonna do it again. So don't worry. We're gonna try doing this again.
Don't forget your walkie-talkie, by the way.
I will not forget my walkie-talkie, but it should be 9:30 right about now, right?
Yes, it is. 9:35.
You're gonna find that
You know, I found
Phil,
that
are you ready to
listening
switch
it
over?
directly was much easier
I'll bring clips.
than the other. We just had nothing.
With the shark shoes?
Yeah.
Oh, probably. I would have
Nothing.
there. I've been like dying to
Except
go
for
like
like
my
the
foot.
Are each of you
Phil, are you ready
staying
to
in
switch over?
separate bedrooms?
That's the idea.
To
be decided.
I'm in
To
the
be
middle.
de- You may all be in the same bed.
all up to here.
We were scared.
I'm
Still
in
got your
the-
socks?
I'm in the-
Yeah, still got my socks.
I feel like I've
I
seen
will
you
sleep
somewhere.
on this bear.
I don't know why. You just look very
I will sleep
familiar.
on this
You
bear.
actually look familiar too, but I'm not
Yes.
sure why. I don't know where we would have ever.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think what it is well, wait, no, you weren't there for the
I
candy
think I'm
factory.
here.
You look a lot like someone who works at the
I've
candy
been dying
factory
to go
back
there
in
like,
Manassas,
like
Virginia.
every single weekend.
That was just-
Really
That was happenstance, but I mean,
Yeah, I've been. I think
I don't
know.
know there was a candy factory.
Yeah.
I did not know this either.
Actually, it used to be a candy
Yeah,
factory.
it used to be
It
a
is
candy
now
Are
an
you all
arts center.
Friends?
But
Yeah,
when we were doing
since
our
we
public
were-
event,
since we were
I was
8.
taking the team up to the 3rd floor, and we
Where
all
do you
walked
live?
in, and I was like, "What is
Northern
that
Baldwin
smell?"
Up in
And
South.
someone else said to me, "Do you smell that? It smells like chocolate."
Where do you live?
And the whole place just smelled, and I said,
Beautiful.
"That's what I'm smelling. I'm smelling sugar being cooked or being processed or something." And it was the freakiest thing, and that's what people refer to as a shared experience, because you can't capture smells,
son has-
unfortunately.
Talks
on,
about it
uh,
all the time, and I said, I'm gonna go.
Is this your first time coming?
Yes.
Oh no way.
Yes.
Oh cool.
Yeah, I found out that my mom is one of my biggest fans, and I was just like, "Oh wow, so cool."
I felt really cool how the light went off as soon as you said something earlier. Oh, that was fun.
I know, and then you were like, "No, I'm not talking."
Yeah,
Just-
Please don't turn green.
All right, so let's see. So I got that. I got my spirit box. I got Charlie Brown. I think We are good to go.
It's
All
a
right.
real bear.
It is a cool bear. It's a real. It's
Oh,
definitely
it's
a
been
real bear.
freaking me out, like when the lights
It-
come on.
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just staring at me.
It's so cool. You can like.
Well, his mouth has been through some things.
It's an old
Yeah, it's
an old bear. But okay. Yeah, sorry about that panic. I know that probably was making you feeling very uncomfortable, but it is a bear. Sadly, it is a bear that is also doubling as a rug. All right, let's get moving.
Little bear.
It's a wee bear.
I know,
Yeah, that's the other. That's the other. That's the sad thing. It's a wee bear. Hopefully, it's not a baby bear. Okay. Let me work my way through here. Oh no, that's interesting. Oh wait, I think wind might have knocked that over. At least I'm gonna make that my
We were in here.
my hypothesis that wind knocked this over.
I love this.
Be interesting to see if this went off.
Oh, so you were Serena
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This house is like eating at a Cracker Barrel.
That is a great way
That
to
is
put it. It is good.
Profound things my mom says at random, everybody. Hey,
If you
Ketra.
ever eat at Cracker Barrel, you see those pictures and you think,
All right.
somebody's mother,
Yeah.
somebody's father, hanging in a Cracker Barrel.
You still have your other camera thing on the floor there. Do you need it?
Oh no. Wait, which one?
That one.
Oh, no, I don't. It's yeah. Unfortunately, it's not performing as well as I thought it would. So I have to find my juju with that camera again. It's supposed to be a full spectrum body camera, but I don't have a good way of wearing it, unfortunately. All right. Let's see. All right, I think we're gonna start in here once we finish our break. But I want to wait until, because I think Phil took a group down to the basement. Yeah, I can hear them in the basement. All right. How's the energy, Spence? Oh, it's great. It feels really good. It feels really, really good. Phil, can you hear me over?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Tina can hear you.
Tina?
You like this? Would you like the rest of this?
Wow.
Switch out for a second. Oh, sun-kissed.
So watch your step in here if you want to come and take a look at something. If you want to come and take a look at something before it stops, you want to come and take a look at it. But watch your step.
Hey, Dad. Where did he go? Oh, he's in the ballroom.
in there. There's apparently something happening.
Oh, Dad, Phil's coming up by the way.
Okay, good. So, did Mom disappear? Did Grandma disappear?
I don't know. I think Grandma might have gone to the restroom.
Oh, okay.
But hold on.
So hold on. So let me. So that right there, if you're curious, this is a specific kind of grid. Look at that. And you're asking how the energy is, Spence? Well, there's your answer. There's your answer. It's all those are cold spots it's detecting, and you see how it's lighting up there. It's basically picking up movement. It's saying that. It's saying that it's picked up, if you take a look here, under events, it says it's picked up nearly 350 events. So if you're wondering how the energy is pretty darn good tonight. And it's all happening in this corner of the room. So I think we're going to start in here, everybody, because
The corner where the chair moves, right?
this is the corner where the chair moves, yeah. All right, so let me go on ahead.
So should we put the chair back?
It's very tempting. Oh my God, has that been sitting there all this time? Ah.
Yeah, this is why I wore this jacket. I know. Just old house where attention to be served.
That's really interesting there.
Portals to hell, yes. Sure.
So yeah, I Portals to Hell. It's the worst name for the best show on paranormal investigating. This is T. Morris in the downstairs. Now that I have my H4, so we can start recording. Yay! All right.
So now, do you find that locations that are heavily traveled are less activity?
What was that?
Do you find that places that are known for ghost activity that you go to, like the heavily traveled ones, have less activity when you investigate versus something like this that maybe there's not so many people coming?
It really depends on the location. It depends on the intent. Serena, if you want to eat something, can you step outside?
Yeah, no, I was just holding it right now.
I know. Okay. It depends on the location. It also depends on the intent, as we said earlier, and it also depends on what happens, what's happened there. I guess the best way I can describe it. So let me give you the good and the bad. So the good, we went to for the last show of this season. We went to this place called the Tuckahoe Plantation, and they had just had a wedding there that day. So we get there, and there was still a lot of activity happening. We were picking up a lot of EVPs, a lot of weird stuff happening. The funny thing was, though, at the very end of the day, at the very end of the night, I should say, the very end of the night at the event, we went to this one place. Everyone was like, "Oh, you should go to the smokehouse. It was really active in the smokehouse. You should go to you should go to the kitchen. You should go to the kitchen." We go into the kitchen, and there was just this vibe in the kitchen. So I can describe a vibe of more people. You know, it was just, ugh. And that whisper was me. Just for the recorder's sake, it was me. Just more people. Great.
Because I noticed you mentioned earlier in one of the rooms, we're not here for you to do tricks.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the popular places, it's about making them do tricks.
It's
roll the ball.
Roll the ball. Do this. Yeah. And actually, it's funny you should say roll the ball, because it just reminded me that I actually have.
I don't think there are any in there.
I actually have in here.
Oh, there are. I didn't see.
It's actually going to be one of the things we give away tonight. It's a real simple tool. It's just a cat ball.
Oh, yes.
That's all it is.
Oh,
It's
yeah, okay.
just a cat ball. But what we do is that we place that here, and then once it's done blinking, okay, that way I know. If there's anybody in the basement, that was me.
I was just gonna say, the people downstairs are like.
Yeah, but Phil left his radio up here, so I mean, unfortunately,
Oh, he left it?
I'm gonna have to tell Phil, walkie-talkies don't work if you left it up
If
here.
it doesn't, if you don't have.
I sense, I'm saying that I don't have.
I'm going to punch you so hard in the nads, you moron.
Good lord. Well, now they're together, at last.
God damn it, Phil.
Over. As in this friendship. How's everyone doing?
We just had apparently we had somebody, where's the person that did the STs? Right here. She did the STs method.
Oh, nice.
It's really well done.
Nice.
We got some ringers with us tonight, I found out, or at least on my team.
Yeah.
And
We never get anything.
We don't.
we've been having some interesting stuff on the on Charlie Brown.
Very nice.
He's having a good first
Well,
night.
I'll have to tell you about our flex later.
Oh, okay.
Simon's
not letting you down?
not letting us down. There's some very interesting
But did you
stuff.
see this? Look at this.
Brown likes his mom.
This is a calm. This is a calm. Look at how many events that's happened.
Oh, you got a bunch of cool spots over there too.
374 events.
Good on.
So,
Well, we'll see you for the toast.
okay, see you for the toast. So the other side of this, though, is we went to a place called St. Albans Sanatorium in Southern Virginia. It is reputed as one of the most haunted locations in Virginia. Now, granted, to be fair, there are a lot of locations that say we're the most haunted locations in Virginia. So yeah, you take it with a grain of salt. But what was really bad for this particular event, and it was the last time. It was the last time we were going to do this event with this group, and also the way we try to do our thing, which is we don't want teams of no more than 15. We want to be able to just break it up into teams of 5 and everybody go their own separate ways. to give you an idea of how big of a cash grab it has become, this particular event at St. Albans had 70 people show up, 5 groups. I'll let you do the math.
That sounds like our Gettysburg one.
It was a train wreck. And that property felt barren. It felt absolutely barren. And the thing that was heartbreaking was it was on Phil's wish list. So he felt let down, and I said, well, we can come back for a private group. Then we met the group that handles the private ones at another event, and they were absolutely, well, you know that you can measure the professionalism of a group when you go outside and you go, I was about to say, does anybody smell tobacco? And then I look and realize my tour guide, or my guide, basically my paranormal guide, is smoking a cigarette.
Wow.
You just don't do that. You don't do that at one of these things. So let me go on ahead. Let me get. Let me get.
You were getting high in that church. You know it.
And with as active as this back corner is, oh, that was the other thing too. The St. Albans event. That was where these ghost bros were, and they were basically decided to make somebody on my team a butt of a harmless joke, but they were knitting. They were doing crochets because they were nervous. And we got an apology from the event organizer, but not from the special guests. So when it comes to Ghost Bros, it's something personal with me. I don't mind saying it. All right. Let's try this. There we go.
What's this one called again?
This is a REM pod.
REM pod.
And sometimes they can be very finicky setting up. Thought I had it. There we go.
Sounds like the operation game.
Yeah, very much like the operation game. Yeah. All right.
Actually, I guess it was electromagnetic field for that game too, right?
Hold on one sec. Come on. Okay. Let's make sure. Darn it, I should have left it alone. Okay. There we go. So I'm backing off now. I see a lot of cold spots in this corner, but if you want to give us another reason why, let me try that again. If you want to give us another indication that you're here, would you go on ahead and touch that device that I just set up on the floor after a very long period of time? After a very long period of time. I'm sorry, what was the question again about REM pods? What?
Nothing.
You sure?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Sometimes they can be that moment with that TWM count 10. Okay, I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to figure out what they mean that. And as you can see right now, this is still going off. So something is happening in that corner right there. There's a lot of cold spots, and to be honest, I'm looking around for the vents, and the vents are pretty far behind us. The vents are actually over here. So here are the air conditioners, but over here is where they're picking up the cold spots, where in this corner the chair would move. And when you see the rim light up over here, that's where it's detecting some sort of movement or temperature change. And the idea behind a laser grid is that if you see the laser grid bend or move or get blocked, that's when you feel like you've got some movement there. You've caught something. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else I want to do in here. Would you like to give us a sign that you're here? Can you knock on a wall? Just let us know that you're close by. We got friends upstairs, obviously. And there's that green light. There's that black box with the silver stick in it. If you get close to that, it'll let me know that you're here. I'm sure with the wedding that was here today, it was a very long day, a lot of activity. Did that make you happy? Okay, that's a truck outside, I'm pretty sure. As my friend Phil said, I'm not here to expect you to do any kind of special tricks or make anything move. I'm just trying to see if you're with us right now. Wynn just joined us, so I'm hoping that out of respect for Wynn, you'll let us know you're here somewhere. Just go near the red REM pod if you would. That's the green light you see in the dark. I'm fascinated with what's happening here with the grid.
So you're seeing temperature changes in that, or?
It's saying that this entire it's basically saying there's a whole cascade of cold spots just popping up all over here, and you've passed through this grid maybe 4 or 5 times, so that would be 4 events.
Yeah.
It says it's recording nearly 390 events.
Wow.
So
there was a little while ago when you were all upstairs and they were seeing a lot of things populating in there and it kind of shifting around. So I think that was the beginning of all of it. And there are no termites, so we wouldn't need dozens of events of cold coming in right
I would be so shocked if this place had termites, because come on, you keep this place immaculate.
Yeah, termites are afraid of ghosts.
Yeah, they're a different kind of ghost. They're an easier ghost to bust.
So you said there's a chair over there sometimes that moves?
Yeah, so the one you're sitting in.
Oh.
Actually. Oh yeah, you haven't, sorry, you didn't hear any of these stories, right?
That's right,
Oh my
they
God.
came late.
Okay, can I repeat for anybody?
Go for it, go for it.
So, sorry, welcome to the ballroom. Some
so welcome.
very interesting things happen over here. So we don't really know why that this side of the house is the more active side. So, but potentially there's a couple of reasons. One is because in the house, in history, the house went through a massive renovation in the 1950s. So Floor Plan Farm dates back to the 1670s, and it was the plantation and about 400 acres of tobacco farm, which was doing just fine until around 1850. The plantation burned down mysteriously. I'm in contacts with old man Ben, who's 90 years old and a direct descendant of the family. He was born in the house, his dad was born in the house. No one else in the family knows why the house burned down. Psychics came last year and said that they actually picked up that essentially it was an oil lamp that caught the house on fire, and the lurker, who you've seen in Kindred Spirits, may or may not be this entity, and the reason he appears with no eyes or blackened eyes is because when the plantation burned down, they needed someone to blame. They're like, oh, it's the guy that takes care of the lamps. They beat him up, bruising his eyes, and threw him into the Patuxent River, which is painted there when you first come into the hallway, which caused him to drown. When people experience this entity in the green bedroom, if one of you were staying in there tonight, you experience like a pressure on your lungs, which might be a drowning sensation, and you see this entity standing at the base of the bed. The youngest member of the family, ancestors, recently stayed in the house, and she wasn't afraid to stay in there. She had an interaction with the entity that basically said, release me, and her being a direct descendant, she was like, you're free to go, that's fine. Then she said that the sort of tension in the room lifted, and then she felt something sit down on the side of her bed. She was first nervous, but then she was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with it. She's like, it's cool, you can talk to me. Then she went into this dreamlike state where she said that the man showed her all these past family holiday parties throughout the 100, 200 years. So anyway, that's a lot. I know I went into a long stint there, but so we date back to the farm going to the burning down and first plantation, but then in 1852 they built the plantation right back in the same spot. So this one, the middle area, is actually built onto where a prior plantation burned to the ground. And this year we were like, okay, like where did all that stuff go? Well, apparently they just shoved it off the hill because we were putting in rose bushes to make a little rose garden. And you get 7 inches down and you find pottery and pipes and old nails because that's just where they put it all. The house, the plantation went on until from 1850 to 1950 within the Bowie family. Then the Bowies one of the family members became ill and they had to move closer to DC, and they sold it to Calvin D. Johnson and his wife Gladys, who you may know a little bit about if you've done your research. They were DC socialites, so they renovated the entire house. That's why you have the 1850s outside, 1950s interior, the 1950s wallpapers. This room with parquet floor, this is probably like a billiard room or a card room for women in the daytime. And they did all the DC gossip and the secrets and the political side. And when you go to the basement, you'll see the massive safe that they somehow got from government property. Because in those days, you're just like, yeah, I want to do this thing. It's fun. Like taking the house off the historic registry through all these renovations. So they destroyed the historical integrity at that time, which for me, that's kind of good because it means I don't, have to have any rules exactly here with what we do. But yeah, so they were in here until the 1950s. So in all this massive renovation, they removed 4 chimneys, 8 fireplaces used to be in the house, and they added on this wing. So the crazy thing about this wing being the most active, one, is the chair that you're sitting in, or any chair that is in that corner where we're documenting right now. From time to time you'll come in this room, that chair will be pulled out, facing out the window, and I actually took a picture of it just yesterday because it had happened. And people were like asking, were you downstairs while we were staying for the Airbnb? Because it's not typically like this, like people aren't usually here. I'm like, no, I don't go into the guest spaces, you only see me in the kitchen. They're like, well, the chair was moved. And, alright, I can't really see, can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that means just the chair in front, you can see.
Oh,
Yeah, so the thing about this chair is, okay, it's facing out the window, but guests started to point out, hey, it's facing towards where the old cemetery is.
Oh.
And I said, huh. So they're like, perhaps someone is like pulling the chair up to look at their loved one in the cemetery. But I'm telling this story to the Bowie ancestors that came to visit, and they were like, well, and I was like, well, what? And they said, well, we kind of might have a story for you, because this was happening so many times. They said that Edgar Patterson McSeany, who was married in the dining room in the 1800s, that he died in the house at age 49. But his request was, no matter if it's family or an orderly, someone helping me, my request is that you'll pull my chair up to the window so I can watch the trains go by. And the train track is still very active, so perhaps Ed McSeany is still watching the trains. Now, I also had never seen him because there's no photos that I could find. There was a historic family collection in the Maryland Library, but all the photos had been taken out. I had not been able to find any pictures of this family or any instances of the house before meeting the Bowies themselves. But whenever they finally connected with me, they did have a few photos, and one of them, here we go, is of Ed McSaney. And this is the great thing about it, is that in this picture he's literally, I'm like, oh look, he's like dragging a chair.
Yeah.
So I think this is the guy
So he
who's,
got married here? Did he live here?
he did. And
Wow.
yes, so
Oh my god.
so here's direct descendant.
Huh.
And yeah, you guys saw it earlier. Yeah. Anyway, I wondered too, like specifically with him, because somebody picked up, was it your group that got the Ed earlier? Did you guys hear from Ed? No, somebody upstairs, I guess, picked up on the, or downstairs at the time, picked up on the name Ed. But my wonder is, because we just had this big wedding here, the only other known recorded wedding was of his wedding. So I thought, well, maybe he's around this evening. The other thing that happens down here is when a group of psychics came, they felt a lot of burning sensations, like on their shoulders. And they picked up on the fact that they felt like a lot of people were, of course, running from the house when it first burned, but their clothes were on fire. They picked that up. They also felt a lot of pressure, like a bag of rocks on their head when they went into Gladys Johnson's room, the red room. And they didn't know, but she had died of brain cancer. So perhaps they were kind of feeling that anguish. Also, if you're in this room, there's kind of a disconnect of sound. So if you're in here at night, you might hear what sounds like a ball being dropped and rolled from the bedrooms above. And then if you're in the bedrooms above, you hear below, it sounds like two men arguing. And if they listen really closely, many people have thought that they were arguing in either Portuguese or French for some reason. We don't really know why that would be, other than the house dates back to the time of the French and Indian War. So maybe someone visited the house during that period that would be a fluent speaker of French.
Wow, and as you're telling this story, the cold spots are absolutely going nuts over here. Yeah.
And the last point I'll make
interesting.
is that in that massive renovation, and why this side of the house has the stronger manifestations, like furniture that moves, a full-on body potential apparition, is because maybe this portion of the house was built on top of something that it wasn't supposed to be. So like there is a very old well right here to the outside of the house, and we don't really know what was here because in the 1950s they just put this in when they were doing all sorts of reconstruction to the house, even putting steel beams into it. The other thing that's a potential, and I know you guys got here kind of late, but if you look out this window, if you step outside, there's a massive, massive tree right here. This is the second oldest beech tree in the state of Maryland. And almost immediately when the psychics came, they said it is a portal. It has so much energy to it that perhaps the spirits can use that energy to make themselves known. And the roots of that tree go directly underneath this room. So you have a couple of instances. This is the closest side of the house to the cemetery, the tree, the renovation. So there's just lots of changes. And I don't know that we will walk down to the cemetery tonight because it is a little bit later. However, I'll say the cemetery, a lot of the folks that are out there are a lot of disturbances because first the graves were exhumed. They used to be further into the woods. But then the Bowie family said, no, these are honorable people. We need to dig them up, put them over here. So one, they, moved them, and people are like, why are you moving my dead body? Two, they didn't take everybody. So there's people over there that are like, am I not good enough? So there was a lot of that. Also, in the Great Depression, there was actually a lot of grave robbing going on. But literally, people would go to cemeteries and take the tombstones because you can file down the marble and resell it. And all of the Bowies in this cemetery, their graves were all taken, filed down. And so when it was redone, you go up there and you see a Revolutionary War soldier with a 1990s tune. It doesn't make sense. And that's because every one of them was basically taken. There was no marker for the family members, and they had to go back to family maps to figure out who even was where. So there's a lot of disruption about the life and death of this house.
And you were talking earlier about activity in a house, and talking about how it can be really active on some days and then it can be absolutely quiet the next day. Whenever you do renovations, whenever there's construction, that will tend to, at least the theory goes, is that will kick up some kind of activity. And a good example of that is where I live. They built a brand new housing community, again, state of Virginia. They built a brand new housing community right next to a battlefield. And they basically said, well, we've negotiated with the parks and the National Park Service and everything, and we're going to take this part and turn it into housing, but the rest of this is a battlefield, and we honor it as such. And I'm like, so you're basically telling people that at this point was where all the battles stopped, and there were no graves and the reason why that's ludicrous is that there were thousands of people on this particular battlefield. But there's a site where they found some like very simple marked graves for the Alabama Regiment. And they know they have at least 12 graves here. Well, the Alabama Regiment was a lot more than just 12 people, and a lot more than just 12 people died here. And where they found these graves, I literally could just look up and see someone's backyard deck. And I'm sitting there going, this is bad. This is really bad. And when I mentioned to a friend of mine that I was getting into paranormal investigation, she goes, oh yeah, my house is haunted, and so is my neighbors. And I said, how do you know? She goes, well, we're in the battlefield area. And she said she had tools gone missing. She had things moved in her house. And she goes, you know me, T. You know how I have everything in a very specific spot. And when I come home and it's not there, that's when I know there's a problem. And
well, living here is insane because there's like constant events too. So last night there was a Gods and Goddesses party, like a themed Halloween event, and like 2 weeks ago, Queen Latifah filmed some independent thing for Tribeca, and people moved. It was like a film shoot, and everything like got shifted around the house, and so there's just like constantly people coming and going, and so you never know. It's like, did somebody move something, or is this like a paranormal instance, or is somebody living in the attic and I just don't know? They're gonna murder me in my sleep because that's scarier than a ghost. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I would say like things too get active too when you're trying to do this renovations, and since getting this house, which by the way, like y'all don't know, it was by a fluke of me trying to avoid a commute, and I got on Redfin. I was like, I'm gonna get a 2-bedroom house, and I set my settings very low at like 230,000, and then this house pops up, and I said, that's only 10 minutes from work. How's this possible? And it was in foreclosure, and essentially the realtor was like, yeah, it's trapped in this online auction, so you probably won't win it, but I'll take you out to the house. I get here, and she looked at it. She said, well, I don't do ghosts and I don't do dust, so you're on your own in there. And I came down and was like, yeah, I think this would be great. So if it could happen. And then I won the auction and went into crazy renovation mode. But these air units. Oh, yeah, you know about all that times, right? Is that response? Is that somebody interacting with us, or is it just something got triggered?
Well, I believe it was picking up movement, and it was fine just a moment ago. So let's just wait.
Hey, so maybe you've been here since the beginning and all the renovations, right? I don't know, but yeah, I had to evict the deer that were living in here. Like seriously, wow. I told them earlier. I was like, you and I, the deer wander around because they're like, I want back in my house. So the doors have been kicked in, the pipes have been stolen out. It was glorified camping in July.
And just for clarification, if you were setting it off, the green light would be going off, not the red.
Okay, yeah.
Which I find fascinating. So, what do you think of the renovations that Wynn's done Do you think do you approve of the renovations? If you don't approve, you can let Win know by making the red light go off again, or you can make the green light go off on the other side, and let Win know that he's. Stop!
What does that mean?
Stop!
Is that yes?
No, I said if you didn't like the renovations, make the red light go off. I was gonna say make the green light go off if you like the renovations.
No, they've never been okay with it, but they don't understand. It's like I can't help that it was remodeled. I'm not gonna take it back to the 1800s, guys. I'm like.
Yeah, but you don't want to take it back to the 1950s either.
Right. Well, it's like it's kitschy. Like there's antique pieces of furniture. Like I don't know that, but that was when I first started sensing that something was in the house, is doing painting projects, etc. It always felt like someone else was around. So like people, like I would always say, I'm doing this now. Is that okay? And then you kind of feel like a nod of approval in the room, but never 100%.
I think it's amazing how the devices react to Win.
Yeah.
It's like
they're more comfortable.
they feel like Win is part of them.
Well, but to an extent, as we showed Win this when we were here last, as I was mentioning earlier, there's an app my wife uses called GhostTube, and several times while we were talking to Win, it went off and it said the same word, guide, again and again and again, guide, and I would imagine. And maybe you can tell us by making the green light go off if you agree with me, or the red light if you disagree. So green for yes, red for no. Do you consider Win to be something of a guide for you?
I am like freezing right now.
It is very cold.
I just got like a sudden
It is
chill.
very cold in here.
Like
It's not bad over here.
I'm curious.
Like just all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, it's freezing.
Really, really cold.
I mean,
And I have like a fur coat on. I'm like,
Ghost, did you enjoy me?
that's me.
That
was me. That was me. I just want to see something here.
Well, it's nice to know the green side works.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
They're not always negative.
I feel warm again.
But he is now.
I seriously just got like so cold from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's half green and half red.
Oh, I got like real red. Wow.
What about?
They're not always negative.
So
Really
last
cold,
night
huh?
there was a very interesting phenomenon. I
Whoa.
was
It's
dressed.
like freezing again.
Really?
It's
It's
like
like
hot for a
coming
minute
and
and I'm
going.
like freezing again.
Well, here's the thing. This is me. That's me. It is 65.5 degrees over here, and it's colder when I come behind you.
I'm like really cold.
Man, you're in a chair.
Yeah.
You're in the you're in the chair.
Ed McSenior,
Now let me just see
you-
something. I just want to see real quick.
Sometimes when you film with a light, you can pick up on stuff. So sorry.
It's actually 65 all the
I'm
way.
not gonna try to blind anyone, but there's gonna be a
But
light.
I'm kind of surprised because it's been in this.
Do you not want to be filmed?
I think it's just amazing how it reacts to Win's voice.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's still beeping though. That's the thing. It's still beeping. When you might want to turn that light off because it does not care for that light. Yeah.
That means it's still sitting there.
But surely, like last night when I came to the party dressed as a minotaur, which I called the Winotaur.
The Winotaur.
Yes, and they played the song. What was it? You know the song? You know what I'm talking about? Yes. Yeah. So it's not Toto Africa song, but it's
Yeah,
the
but
one.
it's very similar.
Yeah. So I had this little flute.
Come
that-
from place down under.
Place Down Under.
Yeah.
And so I had this little flute that I don't know how to play, but somehow
Yeah.
I picked it up and I was dancing around as this minotaur creature. And if you were here, you would have put that on TikTok.
I'm
It was the
telling you,
most-
Win. I think you're the ghost whisperer because
I think that goes like parties too.
Yeah, if it's Gladys or Ursula, like they always come out for the parties.
Come on, Gladys.
But somebody was mad about the renovations, but this person seems happy about the party, right? I mean, the party was great. It was
They
legit,
like the flute.
right? The
Mhm.
flute playing and the dancing and the fog machine. That was cool. There were lasers.
well, you were having a
That is
throwdown.
Toto.
Yeah, it's just a typical Friday.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it.
that is too.
That is Toto.
We should play that song and see what happens. Right?
It's a really weird music video if you ever want to go down a rabbit hole.
Wait, what was the song? called
it's
not
no, it's Down Under
Yeah.
by Men at Work.
No,
Yes,
that work.
men at work.
Men at Work.
There it is.
Okay. We can't let it play for too long because I am streaming this, and that means that
Oh,
yes.
oh, okay. Cover your ears.
give it 30 seconds.
Whoa. He didn't like
They
that,
want
T.
to play it.
All right, all right.
Yeah, it's red.
If I get a copyright infringement, it's on you.
Yep.
Come on, let it- Here we go.
So let's see if it. Do you like this song? Green for yes, red for no.
I'm playing it really softly, but it's playing. No, nothing. Okay, I'll turn
Ooh.
it off.
Wait, do that again? Do that again? No, keep it. Go ahead and turn it up. Go ahead and turn it up.
Okay.
Go ahead and turn it up. I just want to see if anything changes here.
We just gotta hear a little flute part.
Now let me just check something here. Yeah, it's picking up the phone. It's picking up the phone. Oh wait, just keep playing it. Yeah, I just want to see.
I said definitely completes the image of you as a one-of-one.
Yeah, this was.
Oh, no.
It was happening. It was happening.
It's red.
Okay. It might have been a false
The
false
triangle's
positive.
red.
Wow, really? Whatever is in here, it is a grumpy entity because it just keeps hitting red.
Yeah.
Maybe Wynn kept it up too late last
Yeah.
night.
Did Wynn keep you up too late last night? Green for yes, red for no. I would love to hear the answer to this.
Oh! They were probably mad because I shut the party down at 1 and I was like, I gotta go home.
Now is this Gladys we're talking to? Is this Gladys? Green for Gladys, red for no.
Would you like a drink, Caviar? Is it Gladys?
Either way, if it goes green, we know it's Gladys.
Right. I didn't mention to this group, but I told the others. So the lounge tends to be a more active. Well, it's been decided that it becomes extremely active around 1:11, and then the time after that. And we never knew why. In the early days, I would just start hearing sounds like something crashing or footsteps, and I didn't pay it any attention. And it's not till Airbnb guests, etc., would come here and have the experiences that I started saying, oh, something's up. And then we had a paranormal team to do an investigation, pick things up their own to prove it. But a group such as yourself was here and they were trying to make contact. They heard that,
They weren't trying to make contact.
but they were, and they asked, why do you gather? What happens at 1:11? And basically they got the response that the ghosts of the house from their buried times come together in the lounge to talk about their past lives, but also, more so, to talk about the people who are in the house or the parties or events that are going on. So I feel like these spirits are much more intrigued about your lives and your stories than, typically what they've got to offer.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then with me, I'm always like, murder mystery in the house, baby shower, haunted baby shower, whatever you want to do, let's do it. And
Rosemary's Baby.
right?
Yes.
So the ghosts are never, I think they're extremely entertained at least.
I'm 80 years old. I've got a lot of stories.
Yeah, you should share a story. Do you have any ghost stories? Or
Nothing embarrassing about your son. I
know
you got plenty about me.
That.
I know you got plenty about me.
I was hoping it would go green right
Tell a story.
All right, let's put this to the test. Would you like to hear an embarrassing story about me told from my mother?
Everybody
Green
give a
for
little
yes.
Give a little clap.
Red for no.
Yeah. Come on, ghost. Nothing?
Not even?
Not even the grump?
I've been throwing a lot of softballs, a lot of setups.
Yeah.
Oh.
He doesn't like being called the grump.
I was gonna say, I think that's about the grump comment.
I think so too.
More red than
I'm not grumpy.
Well,
That was the second one. That was the second date.
no stories, no parties, no renovations. But it liked the song, right?
did.
Maybe that one only knows how to touch this side. And it's not all negative.
But see, that's just it. If that was the case, though, the green light would have never gone on. So I'm actually wondering if there's, sometimes that happens too. Sometimes I will have seen this where the red light and then the green light will go off. So,
What if they're
but then
colorblind?
it just seems like it almost seems like it's trying to get something else across. Like it wants either a change of topic, or maybe it's not the person that we think it is. That
Alright.
might be the other thing.
I'm gonna walk out of the room. Remember, left is yes, right, red is no. We don't think you're a grump. I
No, we
want
do
you
not
to
think
be
you're a
for
grump.
minute.
We don't.
I like you.
I'm heading out, so please chat with the
Come on.
friends.
What time is it?
10:22.
Is it 10:22?
Yeah.
10:22? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll try to group up and tell any interactions here in just a few minutes. Then.
Yeah, because didn't we say we were doing Toast with the Ghost at 10:30?
Yeah, we need to do so.
That's right.
Maybe a few minutes after that, like 10:32, we'll do a toast to the ghost, and
All
then
right.
everybody can come together on. Because I know people had hair touching and other things, and
Wow.
so yeah, we'll do a debrief. And
Okay.
that'll be
Well, right now, just to be clear, since I remember we were having a lot of activity up in Gladys's room, it has been baseline 0-0 while the entire time I've been sitting here, which has been interesting because it did spike a little bit when Wynn started playing Men at Work. So I was trying to see if I could get a reaction from Men at Work. So I tell you what, let's, just to make it a little easier for everybody, we're going ahead and we'll move into the lounge. And that'll be the last place that I think we'll be wrapping up for the night. And I'd like to go on ahead and give the spirit box one more try in there. So let's do that.
Do we get to peek in the basement?
If you want to go peek in the basement, you're more than welcome to. The main reason I'm not is that my allergies have been they get easily set by the mildew in the basement. So sometimes it sucks being a curious paranormal investigator, but your allergies are like, no, you're not going down there. It's like, come on.
You can look like that, you idiot. From
Right here actually.
Zach Bagans when he wears that stupid restaurant.
That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Yep. That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
He's too precious for to breathe that other air.
All right.
It's amazing how many people still believe that he's like the real thing.
Oh, there's a
There's a ton of people that believe.
there's a whole
Do you see the Ghost Adventures?
But I don't know if that was us or if that was.
I don't know, because I'm walking all around it. I don't think. You think he's full of crap too?
Really? Don't worry, you can join us in the other room. Nothing's keeping you here. Come join us in the other room.
Yeah, come on, let's talk about that fraud, Zach Bagans. That what? That fraud.
I'll explain it to you on the way home.
Oh.
Alright.
He's from a popular ghost thing that they sold out to the TV and media to fake crap.
I knew that was gonna happen.
I know,
That step is very tricky.
I forget there's 2 steps instead of.
Yeah. Okay, so Phil has a. Whoop. That was me. Boy, howdy, that was me. Whoop.
There,
Thank you.
just so you don't kill yourself. We don't need any more ghosts here.
No, we don't.
They're apparently full.
They're
I haven't watched
full
the
of-
American version of the show, but I watched the British version, and it is pretty.
My wife is actually watching the the American version of Ghosts, and she loves it. She absolutely loves it.
Is this the room you want to see?
Ah, that's so. Apparently, my one of my moderators in my live chat has a account going called TWM, and I was like, "What is TWM?" And then when I pulled off, then I said, "That was me. That was me. Count 12." So I've said it 12 times tonight. All right. So let me do.
You getting set up?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put down.
Did I not? Did I not record? That's good. That's good. All right.
The piano is original.
Yeah, but it is not tuned in any way, shape, or form.
See the basement.
Oh, they went to go see the basement. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. What happened here? So chat, I think we are nearing the end of the evening, but thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you've been enjoying it. Can we get a Twitch grandma impression of the night so far? You know what? I should actually ask that. Huh. Right now I have something even more mysterious.
Hello.
Hey.
Do you want me to turn the light in the bar?
Hang on.
Is anyone in the bar? Where did the other two people go?
Wait, what?
Oh, okay, that's what it
Oh, I think I think I have worn out the battery in my
The
spirit
shadow
box.
detector was going off upstairs.
Really?
Next to the drink.
The shadow tracker was?
Yeah.
Finally.
Phil put it on the
Really?
chair, and it was really light. Like I couldn't see it, but someone was like, it was the chair. So I said, I was sitting in that chair, and I was like, you know what? You should actually put the shadow detector on the chair where that's close to the drink. And then I got up and sat in a different chair, and then Phil put the shadow detector in the chair close to the drink. And then the shadow detector was like really light. I think it was kind of like if someone was like you right now. It was detecting like it was someone was there, but it was like really like light.
So is it nearly 10:30?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It is
Wow.
Do a rally to do Toast to the Ghost?
Yes.
I think we should, yeah, because I didn't realize it was that late.
Yeah.
I did not wow.
Gladys, that's the second time Gladys has come out.
Really?
And I walk into the parlour. Gladys.
Oh, and Phil kept getting his name going off with the spirit box.
Really?
Yeah.
Gladys, ready for some drinks? A toast to you. How you going, Nancy?
I need well, actually, Mom, hold on. I wanted you to come over here for a second. I wanted you, someone in my chat has asked for your impressions of the night. Hang on, Mom. You actually walked
You
off
have to take
camera.
that lantern
You
out,
got
because
it.
you won't see anything in chat.
Yeah, here, Mom. Here, give me the lantern. And just and just give me your impressions. What were your thoughts on tonight?
Radio again.
This is Twitch Grandma, everybody, and this is her first ghost hunt. So I'd love to hear it. What were your
It
thoughts?
was very enlightening.
Okay.
Especially when I asked a question after all of you all had left the room, and it answered me.
I saw it.
Yeah, she saw it.
I saw it.
What just beeped? I missed.
That was this. I'm turning it off because we're nearing the end, and I think I finally wore out the spirit box because it's no longer picking up AM and the lights are dimming in even harder. Again, this is where I wish this thing had some kind of display to let me know I'm low on battery juice.
It just died.
Well, yeah.
There you go, you gotta design a better.
I wish I had that kind of time and ingenuity. I really did. I could tell people this is what I want, but I don't know how to make it happen. That's why there are people smarter than me in like engineering and stuff like that.
Do you have where your equipment has like the energy drain that
there a Lauren here?
people talk about, or
Is there what?
So here are my thoughts on energy drains. When people go, I had a perfectly good camera here, and then,
Are you okay?
and then my battery drained out. I'm like, something tells me that's when the intern didn't plug in the charge because I've never had that happen before. Phil's had it happen before, but I've never had it happen before.
Okay.
I have had a point where I thought I was recording and I wasn't. That sucks.
Necrophonic is a terrible app. Like it's definitely got words thrown in there just to be spooky.
Yeah, Necrophonic. I've heard both sides of the argument. I've been more impressed with Pip's Ghost Tube. Yeah.
At the time that I'd injured my leg and I was using a cane.
This is a great
3 times
story.
It told me to sit down, and it's never done that since.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting.
But I've been very impressed. I gave Ghost Tube several different tries, and I was like, this is legit. And one of the cool things about Ghost Tube is that they actually started up their own social network through the app, and it's pretty neat. Unfortunately, there is a lot of pictures of orbs, and it's like, okay.
Disrespectful.
Oh, what's disrespectful?
Orbs, apparently.
Orbs? Are orbs considered disrespectful?
Maybe you're being disrespectful because you don't believe in orbs.
Maybe that could be a possibility.
The tone of your voice, and it was like,
No.
Hello.
And that's the thing, is that I've had people try Necrophonic around me, and I was impressed with what it did. I know that somebody in my chat uses Necrophonic, and they love it.
We
But
got random stuff, and it was
Really?
just like spooky noises, and that's why we had the ghost cat in the one hotel we were in, because it was just random things.
it's a demon ghost cat, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right, it was the demon
It's a
ghost.
demon ghost cat, and I was like, well,
Got pet or?
Like, you know, either a cat
They're
face
actually-
or a pit cat. I don't know.
So while we're waiting on Wynn to come out with our toast to the ghost, a real quick question to everybody. Just did anybody have any questions for me or Phil about tonight? Anything at all?
Because clearly we have no idea what we're doing.
or how to carry a walkie-talkie.
Or at least when it comes to walkie-talkies, we don't know what we're doing, right, Phil?
Because that sure was an accident that I had to leave. It was an accident.
Hey Phil, I have a question.
Come here,
Is there
son,
any
come here,
white
son,
light?
come here, son.
Phil, is there any white light on that REM pod?
White light? No.
No, it might be a blue light, and the blue light was going off the time.
Trying to debunk the light that we saw, but it wasn't.
Oh no! It would no. There's no way it could have been. No, there's no way.
All right. Plastic cups for you.
So yeah, I have these. So there were
Phil?
plastic cups too.
Got it covered.
Right? Are they here already? Oh.
Okay.
First and foremost, I'd say thank you to our team for leading investigations. Yeah. So leading the investigations tonight, thank you all participants for being open and curious about the visitors, residents of the home that are not visibly seen all the time. So,
Without a voice.
I will say now, if you would like, there is this Chambord that is provided by one of the Bowie descendants. This is a raspberry liqueur.
Yes,
If
yes
you've
it
ever
is.
had any. And so Ben himself, old man Ben, said that we should do toast to the ghost for his ancestors for providing this fine beverage. So if you would like to do a toast to the ghost, please make it be known. Can you toast, ghost?
I would love to, but
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get water because I'm
Okay.
dehydrated and
And that's a
I'm
small one.
Right, okay, well, I think they're all
What
gonna
do
be
you
fair.
think, Gladys? Should we all have a
well,
little plate?
Safety first, don't drink and drive.
And can someone assist me with distribution? Alright.
I was like,
Okay, so we will, it's a double toast to the ghosts in that case.
Oh yes, because you have
So we'll do the champagne
okay.
and
Chambord. Yes.
We used to put Chambord in Zima, if anyone's old enough to remember Zima.
This is the most complicated.
Exactly, because Zima.
Did you have any non-alcoholic stuff, Phil?
Yes, we have sodas.
Good. I'll take
Over
a soda.
on the,
You want to split them
over
out
on
and do?
the tray over there.
Flavor or something. See, like he says.
Alright.
Yes.
What's that?
And
That's
smell it.
the REM pod.
So you should give this a smell. It's very
It's a high.
interesting.
There's also champagne.
Grandma would like a.
Okay.
Well, that's because grandma's not driving. I'll set these aside for us.
You guys
We'll do
want
the
some
we'll do the do.
Chambord?
We'll do the do.
I think there is dew.
No,
over
I
there.
said I don't want any.
Oh, you don't even want to do one and do?
No.
Okay.
I want water too. We could stop by a sheet. We could get some. We could get some liquid death.
We're definitely getting liquid death.
Okay, that's the first bottle down. First bottle down.
Tina, want some Chambord?
Yes. Anybody else? Chambord?
Grandma,
Maybe a big one. So you can share. Alright.
I am underage, so I can't drink. Well, not yet. I can drink in some countries, but not
Anyone
America.
else? Chambord?
Anybody?
Yeah.
Chambord?
I don't like alcohol. I've had sips of it. Like the only thing I like is that it
Alright.
has flavor.
Does everyone have their libation?
You can't
Yeah?
taste the alcohol either.
Okay, alright. Everyone's good? Yeah? We're set? Everybody has something to drink? Phil?
I'm gonna get
Yes?
Are you doing champagne?
Okay.
There's no more.
We're
There's
good? Everybody
there's
has
a little bit
something, right?
there.
This is Phil's.
They're ready.
Oh.
I'm good. Okay, everyone
They didn't get
is
one.
good.
Okay.
Here,
Wow,
here.
that REM pod is
Here.
ridiculous.
Who didn't get one can have one of them. Have this.
Is there an extra glass?
Yeah.
What is this one?
Just water.
Yes, I can.
We're the boring ones.
I didn't know this before the champagne with my.
Okay, we should be over there.
I was debating doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody?
Everyone has something.
Everyone has something.
Everyone has
Because I
something.
have more champagne, which we will open.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Okay.
Alright, so.
Actually, Win, take. Yes, you're fine. No, you're fine. You're good.
I'm in frame.
You're in front.
Alright.
Windows.
So, to those past, present, and future at Thorpe Land, Bowie Johnson, Linville Manor home, we welcome you, we cherish and celebrate you, and it's all about the passing of stories in our lives. So may we celebrate together in this special space that we've all created tonight. So thank you for being here, and thank you for just sharing in the energy of life. Cheers.
Cheers.
To the ghosts.
Oh, I'm so dehydrated.
I am so dehydrated.
Thank you for staying in probably the strangest Airbnb of your life.
That's really interesting how the REM pod was going off there. I think whoever was there was like, give me something.
Oh, they were.
To hear about
Exactly.
We'll let you know.
Pip,
Yes.
where are the tickets?
Oh my
They're in the
gosh.
back.
I almost forgot about the raffle.
I got it.
It would be like the fifth time today that I almost forgot about the raffle.
There's things to forget about all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's
It
right.
is. That's right where
So
my
we
butt
certainly
cheeks go.
have our friend here with us.
This would love that.
that's for you.
This
And I can take glasses if
No.
because you're
Oh, they're
sipping,
perfect.
sipping.
It does.
I don't know.
It fits my butt perfectly. I'm like it just hugs it.
It's a bucket. It is a bucket. All right. You're good.
Now my butt's probably big, but when you sit down and it's like hugs your butt cheeks.
Oh my gosh. What sorcery is this?
It does. It feels like it's just like
I put my butt in there, it's not coming
gently.
back out.
No. All right. Good night, everybody.
Even like right here, and the headrest was just like perfect. And I'm like,
Win this chair.
Right?
Yeah.
That one, that's it. That's the storyteller chair. So-
like that. It is extremely comfortable. I'd be like,
Really?
yeah, exactly.
So
Children gather around.
They definitely have that same.
I watch you.
Here because everybody's
Like, they're all year
out.
round.
And so there's one in
You guys have any experience?
Occasionally, there's
For some reason, Sam and I, we are not those magnets, but we're supposed to repel.
Yeah, now the knock was
You're related. You're related.
So
to
that was
the
wrong.
son,
Okay.
so-
the knock was
All right.
wrong.
I think
It's good. It's good.
we heard another knock.
Oh, no. So he like knocked
Okay, did everybody get a ticket?
twice.
Everybody got a ticket, correct?
And then 30 seconds later, there was a double knock
I
elsewhere.
think you can be.
Yeah, we heard that upstairs.
But you guys didn't do it.
No.
Where's the raffle prize?
He knocked and said, "Can you knock back?"
It just did.
Huh.
And then
Yeah. Phil. So remember that knock we heard? It was yeah. So
ours was a double knock.
ours was
Oh, ours was like a, right? That's what I heard.
Because he was pounding on the floor when you guys were downstairs, I think.
Yeah, that did happen at one
See?
point.
Even he said, he goes, yeah, that was that ding dong in there, pounding on the floor, to trying to get the cat ball. So I don't know.
So, jury's out.
But you were there, so you know.
I don't know.
See?
I mean,
You know.
Yeah, but the knock upstairs was still like.
No, that was,
Because it was an exact ding ding.
yeah.
Right
And it
back.
was-
and we don't get that often. We don't get that often.
Yeah, not very often.
And when we do,
No, Sam and I went, we was thinking that, okay. we're
Okay.
in a prison.
So this is how we're closing out. This is how we're closing out the night. This is how we're closing out the night. We're gonna have a drawing, and just real quick, we're gonna go over exactly what you're getting in this drawing.
Here, do you want me to summon everyone?
So what?
Do you want me to? I can say project.
No, I'm good. I'm good. All right. So first off, in this box, do you remember what's in this box? No. Is this the cat balls?
Yeah, I thought that was
Okay. You saw us use cat balls. Well, you're gonna get a set of cat balls. So if you've got a cat, the good news is they get a toy. If you don't have a cat, you got your first paranormal piece of gear here. All right. You also get.
Mine did, we got rid of stuff.
Yeah, you can mine did not.
You're also getting for a nice little nightlight, a copy of Frankenstein. This is a Frankenstein nightlight. So there you go. So you got that. There is also the, because we are in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. You get the big book of Maryland ghost stories. When you got this, I know you've got to have this.
I gotta have it. I don't think I have it.
You don't think you have this? You got to get on this. This is the big book of Maryland ghost stories. I think.
Don't worry, they'll leave it.
No,
I'd be amazed if you
Try the
did.
next one.
Never too.
That's right.
You also get an Eva Star, as in the recorder that Phil's been using all day. This is Phil's.
This,
It's
right?
that. You're getting
That
that.
is hands down my least expensive and most favoriteest recorder ever. And I've dropped that thing like a dozen times. It is solid, and I caught my first EVP on that recorder, so
This
one
is
of
the
you will
first
get to take that
raffle.
home.
And Phil
You've
actually.
never done a raffle?
This is great.
This
No?
is Wynn's first.
This is Wynn's first raffle. Wow.
Linville.
Okay, well, Phil also popped in here part of his writing, which is this is how Phil and I met actually. This is the sci-fi horror novel Crescent, and in here you get a card.
2 cards, one for a friend.
Oh, two
one
cards.
for
One.
friends.
Oh, that's what.
One for a
Okay,
friend.
one for a friend.
I
You get
just
2
covered
cards,
that.
and basically these 2 cards entitle you to 1 free month on Phil's Patreon. Now, Phil also has a podcast
Not to be
called.
confused with OnlyFans.
Right.
He didn't put that in there.
Very good.
And the thing about his
Is
Patreon,
that when you're not looking?
Yeah, it's
the
a
thing
very
about Phil's
different kind
Patreon,
of-
along with the extra stuff that Phil does for his Patreon, he has a paranormal podcast called Don't Turn Around. He has a lot of extra footage and a lot of extra interview stuff that he only releases to Patreon. So that's just something to consider when you have that and for your friend. Phil, don't forget your cat ball.
We always find them
T,
with our
T,
feet.
T, when should draw?
Well, this is I was gonna say, it's his first one.
The
Yeah,
odds,
say,
the
come
odds
on.
of winning are amazing.
All right.
And
Win.
but I can't win anything. I'm
No, you
mad.
can't.
Ah. Ooh.
The ghosts are mad. Give me a ticket.
You
All
have
right,
one.
here we go.
Are you gonna read off the
That is
winning number?
excellent timing.
Actually, you read off the winning number. Okay, here it
Alright.
comes.
Alright, guys.
Can you?
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Hang on.
No!
Let Win read the
The
number.
ghost won the prize. Just
Yeah, you can.
Step away from that, please. Step away from that, please.
I'm sure if it's Gladys, she's like, you
Don't-
don't get to tell me what
They're
to do.
probably having
That's right.
fun. They're you know,
Yeah, they
like,
love
we
it.
talk about these ghosts being cool. They're probably just like, yep.
And when the winning number
Oh, yes,
is.
that. 469-899.
Now, here's the thing. Now, which room are you staying in?
The least haunted?
The least haunted room? Oh, okay. Well then, read Phil's book tonight. You won't feel that safe. There you go.
Wow.
Done.
Oh, you get the entire thing? Wow.
Wow!
No, I thought it was being separated. So surprised.
I thought the same thing.
So just a quick word from me before we have a second bottle of champagne, which I will. But I just did want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, for your participation, for your open-mindedness. Hopefully, even if not a lot happened tonight, I wasn't with your groups, but hopefully you walked away from this with
Jeez.
Well, something's happening now.
with a slightly more open mind, a shift in your perspective, just something that kind of make you think about everything. So thank you, everyone.
Sounds like they're celebrating. Like they're
Yeah.
clapping.
You guys are celebrating. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this, and we hope to do this again very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
That was totally awkward and weird.
That's what I was thinking.
When?
Yes.
Do you have T and Phil's email?
Yes.
Email,
Oh, yeah.
cell phone,
I would like
social
a
security
report
number.
on how the girls fared tonight.
Oh.
We'll accept you for sure.
Dang it. Okay.
Well, when we do the reveal of when we
Where people write their experience.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you haven't seen the book, but there's a book where not the normal guest book, but the other guest book.
The other guest
Right,
book.
experiences. So as soon as you know it kind of dissipates tonight, we'll give you that book too, so that you can watch the music videos that have been filmed here, the crazy Oprah show, and then read people's real ghost accounts.
Yeah, the Oprah show, if anybody was curious, was Ivana Fixed My Life. If you remember that. It was
Ileana, I think it was Ileana.
no, it was Ivana.
Yanla.
Yanla. And yeah, I was watching that going, oh my God, that's the house, but it's not the house. It was like the house in a darker timeline.
Metaverse.
Much
The multiverse.
The multiverse.
There's probably too many living people there.
So also before, because we're about to dismiss, but this
Okay.
portion of the night was supposed to be so that anyone did have without just kind of brought it out. Now, Andre, you had
Okay, chat. I'm just gonna make the bold assumption you can see me. We are coming to an end. There's no raid. There's no easy way to segue from this, but I just want to say thank you all very much for all the time you have given me tonight. Thank you for the time you've given the spirits tonight. This was a hit. This was a big hit, and it was a win, and I needed it. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.